A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
American.
Lucky Strike, first again with Tobacco Men. First again with Tobacco Men. More independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
There you have the findings of a recent impartial survey, which reveals the personal smoking preference of tobacco men, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen.
Yes, the survey shows Lucky Strike.
First again with tobacco men.
First again with Tobacco Men. First again with the men who can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. So light up a Lucky. Puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. So for your own real, deep down smoking enjoyment, smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike.
First again with tobacco men. Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Tennessee, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the entire Jack Benny troupe is leaving for personal appearances in Detroit and Cleveland, opening Thursday at the Fox Theater in Detroit. As we look in on the Benny household, Jack is packing for the trip.
Rochester, did you put in my shaving cream, brush, and talcum powder?
Yes, sir.
My razor?
Uh-huh. I put in everything but your razor blades. How many do you want to take?
Better take 2. I'll be gone 12 weeks. 2 will be enough, I think.
Boss, how many shaves do you get out of one razor blade anyway?
About 75.
75 shaves out of one blade? How do you do it?
It's a little secret of mine, Rochester. For the first 50 shaves, I don't take the paper off. I ought to take along something light and cool for my stage appearances.
Shall I pack your gray garbadine?
No. I'll take my white linen suit, and I'll wear a blue tie. That sounds like a nice combination, white and blue. Huh?
Uh-huh. Then if you wear your red toupee, you'll look like Old Glory.
No, I'm saving that for the 4th of July. Now, let's see.
You know, boss, I'm awfully excited about going to Detroit. I'm getting a new car.
A new car? Gee, I wish I could afford one. How much is it going to cost you?
$2,100.
21? Rochester, where'd you get that kind of money?
Well, it's like this. I've been with you 11 years, and by skimping, I've saved half my salary every week. And then last week it happened.
You finally got enough?
Yeah, my uncle died and left me $2,000.
I see, Roger. I told you when you started, stick with me. You'll be well off. You know. Now, let's, come in. Well, Joey and Stevie.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Hello, boy. What brings you here today?
We came over to say goodbye.
Well.
Quiet, Stevie. Okay. Mr. Benny, we, the members of the Beverly Hills Beavers, have brought this going-away present to you, our fellow Beaver.
Well, gee, fellas, thanks. So I'll open my present now or on the train?
Open it now.
Okay. Oh, just what I've always wanted. A frog. Yeah, what a pretty frog. It sure looks swell.
It looked even better when it was alive.
Well, fellas, I certainly appreciate the sentiment, and I'll keep it with me as long as the weather stays cool. So long, boys.
Goodbye, Benny.
Well, I guess we're about finished packing Rochester. I wonder if Don Wilson is through with his yet.
Oh, Donald, dear, you answer the phone. I'll finish the packing.
Okay, darling. Hello? Yes, this is Don Wilson. Long distance? Well, put him on. Hello? Yes, I'm fine. How are you? What? Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations. Nice of you to call me. Goodbye. Oh, darling, have you heard the wonderful news?
No, what? What?
Lucky's are first again with Tobacco Men.
Oh, Donald, I'm so happy for you. Now, you better finish that letter you're writing to Mr. Benny.
Well, I am finished. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. Dear Jack, I have talked it over with the little woman, and I've come to the conclusion that an announcer of my reputation should be treated with far more dignity on the program.
Well, that's good. Continue, darling.
For several years now, you've been getting laughs at the expense of my excess weight. I have just about reached the limit of my endurance, and must warn you that I am now serving notice that from this day forward I will not tolerate any references to my obesity.
That's telling him, Fatso. Now I'll get your stamp.
You needn't bother. I'm going to tear it up.
Tear up the letter? Well, don't you want Jack to stop making up jokes about you being fat?
Well, let's be honest, darling. My lard is our bread and butter.
That's what I like about you, Donald. You're so cute in a sloppy sort of way.
I know.
Pauline, have you packed all my stockings and nightgowns?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now put this eyebrow pencil in my cosmetic case.
Oh, I already packed your eyebrow pencil.
I know, but I better take two. Mr. Benny always forgets his.
Say, Miss Livingston, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
No, what is it, Pauline?
Is there anything between you and Mr. Denny? I mean, has he ever gotten romantic with you?
Well, once, a couple of years ago, he drove me up to Mulholland Drive one night, parked the car, looked at me, then said, "Mary, I'm going to take you in my arms and crush you to a pulp." Then he put his arms around me and squeezed and squeezed.
Gee, what happened?
He broke two of his ribs. Since then, he's never gotten romantic.
Well, Mr. Benny ought to start thinking of getting married real soon. He's 39 and he's not getting any younger.
The way he counts, he's not getting any older either. Now, hurry, Pauline. I have much time.
Oh, gee, Miss Livingston, I sure envy you, making this wonderful trip and being on the same train with Phil Harris.
Oh, you really have a crush on Phil, haven't you, Pauline?
Oh, yes, Miss Livingston. Every time I see Mr. Harris, I wish I was only 2 inches tall.
Only 2 inches tall? Why?
I'd like to take off my shoes and run barefoot through his hair.
Oh, Pauline. But you know, Pauline, he has got nice hair. I first noticed it when I saw a picture of him and Alice Faye in a magazine ad.
Phil and Alice? What kind of an ad was it?
Oh, you've seen them. Under the picture it says, "Which one of these twins has the Tony?" I wonder where Phil is. I've been trying to get him on the phone all day.
Hey, gosh, Frankie, just think in a couple of hours we'll be on that super chief bound for Detroit.
Yeah. Gee, Curly, I can hardly wait. 2 more scotch and waters, bartender.
Hey, Frankie, what time is it?
4 o'clock.
What time we come in this joint?
3 o'clock.
That ain't so bad. We only been here 13 hours. Set him up again, bartender.
Yeah.
Hey, Frankie, I think I ought to call up Alice and tell her where I am.
Why, Curly?
Well, I don't want her to think I'm wasting my time in a pool room.
I'll call her later.
Okay.
You know, Curly, I've been thinking and thinking for weeks and weeks. And I just realized something.
What?
You and me are a couple of bums.
Oh, we ain't so bad. Another round, bartender.
Yeah. You know, I'm not too happy about this trip, Curly. I'll probably be lonesome in Detroit. You'll probably spend all your time with Benny.
Nah. You can't have no fun. You can't have no fun running around with Jackson. His idea of a big time is standing on the street corner trying to whistle at dames.
Trying to whistle?
Yeah, it takes him a half an hour to pucker up those wrinkled old lips.
No kidding.
Yeah, and by the time he does get them puckered, he's too pooped to blow. Two scotches and water, bartender.
Two for me, too.
Hey, Frankie, look, it's getting late. We ought to get to that station. I'll go out and call a cab.
No, let's have another drink and float down.
We ain't got no time. Hey, bartender, how much do I owe you?
$475.
Okay, charge it to my account.
$475. You know, Curly, that's kind of expensive.
Yeah, but look at the money we save on food. Come on, we're supposed to pick up Dennis Dale on the way to the station. Let's get out of here.
Well, let's see. I packed all the new things that I bought in the store today. 2 shirts, 2 ties, 2 pair of socks, 2 handkerchiefs, and 36 pair of shorts. Gee, that guy in the underwear department was a good salesman. I don't mind buying all this underwear, but I wish I'd gone to the men's department. Well, I'm all ready now. Oh, Mother! Mother!
Your mother isn't here, son.
Who are you?
Your father.
Oh, where's Mother?
She's not home, son. She'll see you down on the train.
Oh, is she going to Detroit?
No, only to Albuquerque. Then a new engineer takes over.
Albuquerque?
Yes.
Well, I better tell her if an Indian tries to sell her any jewelry to look under the blanket, it might be Mr. Benny.
Yes, I'll tell her. Well, son, I'll kind of miss you when you're gone. And I'll feel kind of funny letting you go on the road alone.
Oh, you needn't worry, Dad. I'm with Mr. Benny most of the time.
Mr. Benny, what do you do?
Oh, we stand on street corners and he winks and I whistle.
What?
And if a girl stops, he faints and I run. Well, I'm ready to go now, Dad. I'll wait on the porch for Phil Harris.
Oh, son, before you go out, you know that song I like so much, May I Never Love Again?
Yes?
Would you sing it for me?
Okay, son.
No, you're the son. I'm your father. Now go ahead and sing.
May I never see the sun go down. May I never feel the falling rain. If a love that I cherish is all that's bright and fair, may I never love again. May I never see the blue of the sky, nor the moon and stars down Lover's Lane. May I never live a day if I
never love again. Sweetheart, when I'm with you, I'm not a foolish pretender. Sweetheart, if you love me too, all I possess I surrender. May I never feel your tender lips. May you never take my love in vain. You're the answer to my prayer, but if your love isn't there, may I never know I'll never love again. May I never know I'll never love
Well, Mary, here we are at the Union Station. How much is it, driver?
That'll be $1.95.
$1.95? Here's $2. Keep the change.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Mr. Benny, do you mind if I say something?
No. Go right ahead.
You're tighter than the ice cube tray in a $12 refrigerator.
What? Come on, Mary, let's go on the station.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga. Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Yeah, I told the gang to meet us over by the information desk.
Say, Jack, there's Dennis over there weighing himself.
Oh, yes. Dennis, what are you jumping out of that machine for?
I put a penny in, but no peanuts came out.
Hey, that's a weighing machine. It's a scale. When you put a penny in, and a little card comes out. There it is down there.
Oh, yeah. Gee, look, I weigh 155 pounds.
And Dennis, on the other side is your fortune.
My fortune? Let me see. Gee, now they tell me.
What does it say?
No peanuts.
For heaven's sake, look, kid, you better take care of your baggage, and I'll see you on the train. Come on, Mary.
Jack, I think I'll go over and buy some magazines.
Okay, in the meantime, I'll go over and validate the tickets.
Attention, please. All passengers going to Anaheim take sandwiches as there is no diner. All passengers going to Azusa take soft drinks as there is no club car. All passengers going to Cucamonga take the bus as there is no train.
Gee, I don't know what magazine to buy.
Hiya, Livy, you one-way ticket to dreamland.
Oh, hello, Phil. What are you buying?
A mystery magazine. Here's one that looks good. Who's Gordon?
That's House and Garden.
Oh.
There's a magazine I want, the one with Robert Taylor's picture on it.
Robert Taylor's picture?
Yes.
You mean Spangler Arlington Brew?
No, Phil, I don't mean Spangler Arlington Brew. I mean Robert Taylor.
What do you see in Bob Taylor anyway?
Well, what does Alice see in you?
Livy, if I stood here telling you, we'd both miss the train.
Well, that does it. See you later, Phil.
Okay, Liv.
Attention, please. The station master just received a complaint about our service. So from now on, all the weighing machines will give peanuts.
Now, let's see. Where's that ticket window? Oh, yes, there it is, right over there.
Your attention, please. We have an announcement from the Lost and Found Department. Will the owners of these pets please claim them? We have a dog, a horse, a woodpecker, and a pig.
That's all, folks.
Well, I'm glad Rochester's taking care of my parrot.
Oh, Jack!
Oh, hello, Don.
Jack, I'm awfully sorry I'm late, but I stopped by the office to pick up the commercials for our Detroit broadcast.
Well, where's my quartet, the sportsmen? They were supposed to come to the station with you.
Well, there they are, Jack, down by the gate.
Where?
Right over there, saying goodbye to their wives.
Oh, yes, their wives came down to see them off. Isn't that nice?
Tootsie, goodbye. Tootsie, don't cry. The choo-choo train that takes me away from you, no words can tell how sad it makes me.
Kiss me, Tootsie, and then do it over again.
Watch for the mail, we'll never fail.
If we don't get a letter, then we'll know you're in jail.
Tut-tut, Tootsie, don't cry. Tootsie, goodbye.
Tootsie, goodbye.
Okay, the good, the lucky strike.
Tootsie, don't cry.
Well, that's for sure you all will like. We said who knows the banjo. It's always love is round and firm and fully packed. So, like one, and then
the first verse, the back, man.
Do it over again.
We'll miss you so, but now we must go. Now Leslie Boone and Speedy Riggs that we said hello.
Tootsie, goodbye. And keep on smoking lucky. Goodbye.
Attention, please. Attention. Leaving on track 3, the southbound special for New Orleans, Memphis, Mobile, Birmingham, and Doo-Wah-Diddy.
Now, let's see. This must be the ticket window right here. Oh, Mister.
Yes.
Are you the agent?
Well, how do you think I got all these tickets? Speeding down Wilshire Boulevard?
Look, I got a ticket to New York, but I want to arrange for stopovers at Detroit and Cleveland.
Detroit and Cleveland? What a coincidence. My parents were in Detroit when I was born in Cleveland.
Wait, how did your parents be in Detroit when you were born in Cleveland?
We had a stork with a lousy bomb sight.
What?
Aren't you glad you asked?
Now, listen. Look, all I want you to do is validate my ticket.
Pardon me a moment. I'm in a hurry. Do you all mind if I go ahead of you?
No. Go right ahead.
What can I do for you, sir?
Well, I'd like some information about Doo-Wah-Diddy.
Yes, sir. What would you like to know?
Well, is old Bob still there with all the news?
Yes, he is.
Does he still wear that box-back coat and the button shoes?
He certainly does. And not only that, he's all caught up with his union dues.
Hey, look, mister.
Anything else you'd like to know?
Yeah. Do they still have those baked ribs and candied yams and those sugar-cured Virginia hams?
Ooh, do they? And basements full of those berry jams.
No.
You keep out of it.
Pardon me. And now, what else would you like to know?
Well, before I get to do-or-ditty for those backbones and butter beans, does the train stop so I can sip that absinthe in New Orleans?
You can bet your layer cakey it does.
Well, that's all I wanted to know. Give me a ticket to Pismo Beach.
Here you are, sir. To him yet, he's got to be nice already. What are you mumbling about? Look, mister, all I want you to do is validate my ticket. Very well. Pullman P, upper U. Here's your reservation. P.U. Look, I got a good notion to report you to the company. Oh, I wish you wouldn't. They don't know I'm working here. I thought so. Now, give me those tickets.
Attention, please. The Santa Fe Super Chief now leaving on track 9. Aboard.
Jack, hurry up.
Coming, Mary, coming.
Attention, Jack Benny. Attention.
Huh?
You left your briefcase at the taxi stand.
Oh, my goodness.
One of the drivers is bringing it to you.
Yeah, I never even missed it. Oh, here comes the taxi driver now. Oh, Buddy, here I am, right over here. Oh, gee, thanks a lot, Buddy, for bringing me my briefcase. I certainly...
Wait a minute. I know you.
Huh?
I drove you down to the station last time.
You did? Well, give me my briefcase. I've got it.
You're not going away again, are you?
Jack, the train.
Look, Buddy,
Why do people have to go away? I can't stand saying goodbye.
Buddy, my briefcase, please.
If I give it to you, you'll go. I can't go through that again. You went away once before.
Look, it wasn't me. You must be thinking of somebody else.
No, it was you, all right. How could I ever forget those big blue eyes?
I know. Now, look, Bud, let go of my briefcase or I'll miss my train.
All right, here. Take it.
I'm coming, Mary. I'm coming.
Why do I have to be a taxi driver? Always see people go away.
Attention, please. On track 7, the chief now arriving from Chicago.
Arriving? Oh, goody. People are coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the last war, the chief hope of our enemies was to divide the United States along racial and religious lines and thereby conquer us. Let's not spread prejudice. A divided America is a weak America, and we need the same harmony among our various racial and religious groups that was the source of our strength in war. Through our behavior, we encourage the respect of our children and make them better neighbors to all races and religions. Remind them that being good neighbors has helped make our country great and kept her free. Thank you. Jack, we'll be back in just a minute, but first...
American. Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man.
As a recent impartial survey reveals, more independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined. More than the next two leading brands combined. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. That's what the survey shows. Now listen to what Mr. Porter Gray Wall, Sr., 29 years of tobacco buyer, recently said.
At auction after auction, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy plenty of good, fine tobacco. Tobacco that's really tops. I've smoked Lucky's 14 years.
So light up a Lucky. Puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. So smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. Lucky Strike.
Dum-dum-dum-da-dum-dum-dum. First again with Tobacco Man. Dum-dum-dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to listen. Be sure to listen to A Day in the Life of Dennis Day on Wednesday. First again on Wednesday. Next Sunday, we'll be broadcasting from Detroit, Michigan, where we open our personal appearance tour at the Fox Theater on this coming Thursday, featuring Phil Harris, Rochester, the Sportsman Quartet, and that Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer glamour star Marilyn Maxwell. Good night, folks.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Lucky Strike, first again with Tobacco Man. First again with Tobacco Man. More independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined. Yes, more than the next two leading brands combined.
A recent impartial survey reveals the personal smoking preference of tobacco men, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen. This survey shows Lucky Strike first again with tobacco men.
First again with Tobacco Men. First again with the men who can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. So light up a Lucky. Puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. So for your own real, deep-down smoking enjoyment, smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. Lucky Strike. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're broadcasting from Detroit, Michigan, the automobile capital of the world. But yesterday they raised the prices of new automobiles, so today we bring you the walking man, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, you're right. I haven't got a new car, but it's not that I haven't tried. You see, there's still an awful shortage.
Oh, that's right, Jack. It's almost impossible to get a new car.
You're not kidding, Don. This morning I saw Kaiser and Fraser. They were both riding bicycles. And that hyphen between their name was on roller skates. But, gee, I'd give anything to pick up a new car here.
Well, Jack, I'm quite sure I can help you get one.
How?
Well, I don't like to brag, but I carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
Well, I wish you... Don, would you mind repeating that?
I said, I carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
Don, you carry... No, I won't say it. I won't say it. No, we were number one in the Hooper last week. Why take any chances? Anyway, Don, thanks for offering to help me, but I'm not sure I'd like to get one of the latest model cars. They're so revolutionary. You know, no cranks in front or anything. Really. And another thing, they've made so many radical changes in the designs. Have you seen the rear end of the new Cadillac?
Yes, why?
It looks like two salmon swimming upstream to spawn. Believe me.
Well, anyway, Jack, I'm glad we finally took this trip to Detroit. You know, I've needed a new car for 3 years, and I'm going to get it now.
Well, Don, if you needed a car so badly, why didn't you get it back in Hollywood? I mean, why did you have to come to Detroit?
For a fitting.
Oh, yes, Don. Yes, I forgot. You do need a new car. Your old one is a little tight around the luggage compartment. Maybe you can let out the fenders, you see. And, oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack, Don. Hello, everybody.
Well, Mary, how do you like it here? Huh?
Oh, wonderful, Jack. Simply wonderful. To me, Detroit is one of the greatest cities in America.
Well, you really do like it here, huh, Mary?
Yes, Don, I love Detroit. First city of Michigan. First in automobile production and fourth in the American League.
Mary, I didn't know you were interested in baseball.
Well, I am. And, Jack, the other day I went out to Briggs Field, and I've got some bad news for you.
What is it?
Greenberg isn't on third anymore.
I must tell my writers. They think Ty Cobb is still out in left field there.
Mary, have you seen many other things here in town?
Oh, yes, Don. One of the places I visited was the Ford factory. You know, Ford sponsors Fred Allen.
See, I can't understand it. A progressive company like Ford going back to the Model T. And why should he be on the air for Ford anyway? With that receding forehead, he looks like a Studebaker.
Jack, why don't you stop picking on Fred and admit that he's a very good comedian?
Oh, he is. He's a very good comedian. Yeah, but I don't think that Fred should be on the air for an automobile. Fred should be sponsored by a ball bearing company.
Why?
Because every time I hear him, my stomach turns. Now, let's stop talking about him.
Okay. Anyway, Jack, yesterday I went out to the soda plant and I met the cutest engineer. I went out with him last night.
At the soda plant? Did you have fun?
Yeah. But, you know, it seems that everyone around here is always thinking and talking in terms of automobiles.
What do you mean, Mary?
Well, this fellow took me out in the park, and we sat down on a bench in a dark corner. Then he looked into my eyes and said, "Honey, do you know you have the nicest, shiniest pair of headlights I've ever seen?"
No.
Yes. Then he looked at my lips and told me I had a great paint job.
What technique?
And then he put his finger on my nose, pushed a little, and was awfully disappointed when my hat didn't go up.
Gee.
Then he kissed me, and it did.
Well, he kissed you. It serves you right going out with a strange man.
Oh, Jack, I was properly introduced to him. And anyway, the only reason I went out with him is because I thought he might help me get a new DeSoto. No such luck.
Well, say, Mary, maybe I can help you get a car here in Detroit.
Oh, Don, that would be wonderful. Do you think you can do anything?
Certainly. I carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
Well, Don, I'd like... Wait a minute. Would you mind repeating that?
I said I carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
Don, you carry so much... No, I won't say it. I won't say it. My landlord may be listening in. He's looking for an excuse to evict me.
Mary, I want to commend you on your good taste. You know, I had the same opportunity and... Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Hello, everybody.
Gee, I'm glad you made it on time, kid. You know, I haven't seen you since we arrived in Detroit.
Well, that's right, Dennis. What have you been doing with yourself?
Oh, I've been spending most of my time in my hotel room.
Have you got a nice place?
Oh, it's all right. I got a room with hot and cold running.
Hot and cold running water?
I don't know. There isn't any bathroom.
Dennis, you mean you're staying in a room with no water?
Uh-huh.
Well, what do you do when you need a bath?
Keep away from people.
You take him down. Somehow he seems to tire me. I don't know.
Okay, tell me, Dennis, are you staying at the Book Cadillac Hotel?
Oh, no, that's too expensive for me.
Well, where are you staying?
At the Book Chevrolet.
Now cut that out! Now, instead of all that silly talk, let's have your song.
Okay.
Now go ahead and... Oh, hold it, Dennis. Come in. Oh, Donna, we were supposed to have an interruption here, but we left the actor in Hollywood. Sing, Dennis. Go ahead.
Heart of mine, Mama Makushla, Mama Makushla, you'll always be there. You're more to me than all the stars that shine, Mama Makushla. You are the answer. Beside me all life through, and every day to me is Mother's Day, Mama Makushla, Mama Makushla, I'll always love you. In you I have an angel ready to guide me, one who'll always stand beside me all life through. And every day to me is Mother's Day, Mama Makushla. Mama Makushla, I'll always love you.
Singing his latest RCA Victor recording, Mama Makushla. Very good, Dennis. By the way, kid, I meant to ask you, how'd you like the train trip from Hollywood to Detroit?
Not so good. I shared a compartment with Phil Harris, and I couldn't sleep a wink.
You mean Phil kept you awake?
Oh, no, I had the upper berth, and it was awfully uncomfortable. I could hardly move in it. I didn't get any sleep at all, and I tried everything. I even went to bed early.
Well, what time did you have the porter put your berth down?
Oh, down!
Oh, nuts!
You must have been pretty tired on the train, Dennis.
I was. I'd wake up in the morning and my eyes would be just as red as Phil's, and I didn't have half the fun.
Well, kid, I hope you're getting enough sleep now that you're here in Detroit.
No, I'm in a pretty terrible hotel. I'd like to get rooms at a decent place, but they're all booked up. Could you help me get a room, Mr. Benny?
Well, I don't think so. I don't know many people here in Detroit.
Well, now, perhaps I can help you, Dennis. I carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
Gee, that would be... Would you mind saying that again?
I said, I carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
You carry so much... No, I won't say it. I won't say it. I have another show in Hollywood, and I wanted to be there when I get back.
That's the first sensible thing you've said today, kid. You know, if you would just... Come in.
Hello, Mr. Benny boy.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Kitzel. Mr. Kitzel, what are you doing here in Detroit?
Well, I came here to show something to the automobile manufacturers. I have the most wonderful automobile.
Really?
Yes, it runs on the ground, it runs under the water, it flies through the air, it even climbs up trees.
Gee, that's wonderful. When did you get an automobile like that?
I always had it, but I never knew it would do all those things till my wife drove it.
Oh, I see. Is it a brand new car, Mr. Kitzel?
No, Chip. It's an old car. It's a Rolls Canardly.
A Rolls Canardly?
Yes, it rolls down one hill and can hardly get up the next.
Oh, now, Mr. Kitzel.
Oh, excuse me. That's a joke I heard on the radio on the Ozzie and Horowitz program.
So that's Ozzie and Harriet. Well, Mr. Kitzel, are you leaving town right away?
No. I'm thinking of staying here and playing with the Detroit Tigers.
You're going to play with the Detroit Tigers? Why?
Who knows? Maybe 10 men will help.
Now, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute, Mr. Kitzel. You see, every baseball team has its off days.
Oh.
That's why they're starting to play here at night, you see? And by the way, Mr. Kitzel, before you leave town, I want you to come over and see my stage show. You know, we're playing here at the Fox Theater this week. Bill Harris, Rochester, the Sportsman Quartet, and Marilyn Maxwell.
Yeah, I know. I saw it the first day I got into town. And that Marilyn Maxwell, if you'll pardon the expression,
Oh, she certainly is beautiful, isn't she?
Yes, and what a shape. This is the first Maxwell I ever saw with a body by picture.
Well, she'll really appreciate the compliment, Mr. Kitzel. I'll tell her when I see her. And it was nice of you to drop in to see my stage show.
Well, I've seen it 9 times already since I arrived here in town.
Well, 9 times.
Yes, tonight I hope I can get a room.
Well, maybe after the show I can help you, Mr. Kitzel.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Benny Boy. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Kitzel. Well, come on, kids. Let's finish the show and get back.
Oh, say, Jack, before you go any further, I wondered if you'd mind letting the quartet do their number now.
Oh, yes, the Sportsman. Hello, fellas.
Jack, the quartet's going to Cleveland with you, aren't they?
Yes, we open at the Palace Theater in Cleveland Friday.
Well, Jack, they want to know if they can leave right after your Cleveland engagement. You see, they've got to go to Philadelphia to sing at the Republican Convention.
Oh, how come they're only singing at the Republican Convention?
The Democrats have Margaret.
Oh, yes! Well, Don, is that all they're going to do?
No.
Is that all they're going for?
No, they're going to be delegates, too.
Delegates? Well, that's interesting. Who are they going to vote for?
Say, I never thought to ask them. Say, fellas, who are you going to vote for?
The man that we'll vote for is F.B. Boone. He sells cigarettes morning, night, and noon. About him we are wild.
He's so round and so firm and so naturally mild.
The man that he works with is speedy rakes. From golden tobacco they make pennies rakes. While they're clapping, they'll be chanting. You can hear them from Mobile to Scranton. Oh, yes, indeed, our vote goes to Speedy and Boone. Oh, well, and oh, boy,
right here in Detroit.
Now,
boys, we're guests here.
Yes, and quality of product is essential to continuing your
Wait a minute, boy. Wait a minute. Now, boys, wait a minute. Fellas, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Don. Bonus built boy. I mean, how can you let them do that to me?
Well, Jack, it's your own fault if the quartet upset you. Why'd you bring them along on the trip?
Anytime I can get 4 of anything for the price of 1, I take it. That's why I hired you, too. Now, come on, let's,
Say, Jack.
What?
I meant to ask you, are you getting a straight salary at the Fox Theater, or are you working on a percentage?
Well, I get a percentage on every ticket that's sold. Why?
Well, while the boys were singing, this note came to you from the manager of the theater.
What does it say?
It says, Dear Jack, you were right. The total attendance yesterday was 22,307 instead of 22,306. How you can count with that spotlight in your eyes, I'll never know.
Of course I was right. I only made 1 mistake since I've been here, and that wasn't my fault. There was a man sitting in the fifth row of the balcony with two heads. One of them was asleep on his own shoulder. Imagine us writing that without George, huh, fellas? You know, Mary, counting the house is one of the first things I've ever learned.
So far, folks, this show is smelled, but now Harris is here and I'm jet propelled. Turn it on. Oh, what a town is Detroit.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the benefit of the few of you who haven't been blown out of your seats, this is Whispering Jack Smith. Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson Dennis. Hello, Livy. Lovely Livy. Oh, look at that streamlined chassis with those beautiful accessories.
Hello, Phil. I know it's silly to ask you, but have you been enjoying yourself here?
Love it, Livy, love it. You know, Detroit's a great town, and just think, this big city, all these millions of people, all these big factories, these thousands of workers, none of them would have been here today if Marconi hadn't invented the automobile.
Phil, for your information, Marconi didn't invent the auto, he invented radio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Imagine me making a mistake like that when I know so much about inventors.
Oh, fine.
Well, if you don't believe me, go ahead. Ask me any question you want to about them inventors.
Okay, who invented the electric light?
Edison.
Pretty good. Who invented the telegraph?
Morse.
Hey, that's right. Who invented the cotton gin?
Gordon.
I knew it couldn't last.
Well, listen, Jackson, if you think that's bad, you should hear what Remley did. He's been waiting for years to come here and get a car so it would be FOB Detroit.
What's wrong with that?
He thinks FOB means full of bourbon. Oh, Harris, you're just like the new Oldsmobile. Beautiful but shiftless.
Well, you can save those jokes for our stage show. If the people don't like them there, you know, they can walk out. Here, we got them trapped.
Hey, wait a minute. That reminds me. Look, Jackson, I got a squawk about my villain coming at that theater.
Why, what's the matter, Phil?
Plenty's the matter. I took pictures of the marquee and my name ain't even on it. Now, here, look.
Let's see. Fox Theater now showing Jack Benny and... Oh, for heaven's sake, Phil. Look, here it is, right on the second line. Philharris. Phil Harris.
Oh, is that what that spells?
Yes, and listen, while we're talking about...
Hey, Mr. Benny, you want to see something funny?
Huh?
Put your finger on my nose and push.
What?
Put your finger on my nose and push.
Okay, there. Dennis, what happened?
Yesterday I was going through one of the automobile factories and my head got caught in the assembly line.
Oh, go sit down.
Okay.
And stop pulling your ear.
I'm turning my lights off.
Oh, be quiet. Now, Phil, getting back to our vaudeville show, I got a couple of complaints to make, too.
Such as what?
Such as when you do that love scene with Marilyn Maxwell. When you kiss her, why do you have to kiss her so long?
Listen, Jackson, you ain't paying the girl nothing. Let her have some fun.
You think kissing you is fun, huh?
Certainly, you don't think I hung on to Alice with just my lousy music.
No. Well, look, Phil, let's not discuss your love life. I'm talking about our vaudeville show. Another thing, I don't like the way you deliver some of your jokes. You're pressing too hard.
Okay. I'll watch it, Jackson. You know more about that than I do.
And don't make such a slow exit after your number. Get off the stage fast. It'll help your applause, you see?
Okay, I will. You know more about those things than I do.
And another thing, I think your tempo is much too fast when you sing, That's What I Like About the...
Now, hold it, Dad. Hold it.
Huh?
I don't mind you telling me how to deliver jokes.
Look, Phil.
And I don't mind you telling me how to make an exit.
Phil.
But telling me how to sing That's What I Like About the South is like Henry Ulrich telling Dr. Kinsey about the birds and bees.
Phil, I didn't mean to offend you.
Anyway, Jack's right, Phil. I don't think your band sounds good.
Well, I know it don't, but it ain't my fault, Liv. That theater has an awful piano. We'd sound a lot better if it had a good one.
Well, I'm sorry, Phil. I can't help you there.
Well, maybe Don can help me. Hey, Donzie, can you help me? You carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
Yes, Hey, wait a minute, Phil. Would you mind repeating that?
I said you carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
I sure do, Phil, especially around my suburbs.
Oh,
Oh, Wilson, you may take up half the stage, but you're worth it.
Well, John, you finally got your little fat joke in, didn't you? Are you happy now? Huh? Oh, there's the phone. I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Barry. This is Rochester.
Hello, Rochester. What'd you call for?
Well, I've got some bad news for you.
What is it?
I'm at the hotel and one of your trunks is missing. There are only two here.
Oh, my goodness. Which one of the trunks was lost? The one with the strap around it or the one with the rope?
The one with the scotch tape.
Well, what have you done about it?
Well, I called your insurance company and the adjuster is here now. I'm giving him a list of the things that were lost. First, your blonde toupee with the cowlick.
My blonde toupee? Well, I've got two like that. Which one do you mean?
The one that makes you look like an aging Van Johnson.
Oh, gee, that was my Saturday night one.
I know, boss. And, I'm charging them $30 for it.
Well, wait a minute, Rochester. That toupee only cost me $3.
That's what the bait cost, but look at the time you spent trapping it.
Well, I consider that a sport. Now, what else was lost, Rochester?
One electric iron, soap, starch, bluing, and laundry tickets.
Gee, that's too bad.
Well, boss, I'm kind of glad we lost all that laundry stuff, especially now that we're traveling and have no washing machine.
Why?
I get awful tired sitting in the bathtub full of clothes and kicking my feet.
Well, that's good exercise, Rochester. Wait a minute. I hope we didn't lose the trunk that had my violin in it.
That was it, boss. And the man is allowing you $12 for that.
$12? Rochester, the violin bow alone is worth $12. The horsehair in it came from Whirlaway.
I told him that.
What did he say?
He said he wouldn't give you $12 for that bow if Whirlaway was still attached to it, Eddie Arcaro was riding it, and it was 5 lengths ahead in the Kentucky Derby.
Well, what did he say about my violin?
Oh, he wasn't original at all.
Well, I'll take that up with the insurance adjuster myself, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
Would it be all right if I took the night off? I'm kind of anxious to go over to Canada.
Well, I guess it'll be all right, Rochester. It is a pleasant drive across the Ambassador Bridge.
Oh, I'm not going across the bridge. I'm going through the tunnel.
Tunnel? Is there a tunnel under the Detroit River?
Yeah, during Prohibition, Phil Harris dug it with his bare hands.
Oh, yes, I remember he bit his way through the last 2 miles of it. Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye.
I never saw anybody like Rochester. Every time I leave town, he loses something.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but first...
American.
Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. First again with Tobacco Man. More independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next 2 leading brands combined. Yes, more than the next 2 leading brands combined. Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. That's what a recent impartial survey shows. Now, listen to what Mr. Ray Oglesby, 17 years a tobacco auctioneer, recently said.
At thousands of auctions, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine, ripe tobacco. The kind of tobacco you can't beat for smoking enjoyment. I've smoked Lucky 17 years.
So light up a Lucky. Puff by puff, you'll see. LSMFT. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. So smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. Lucky Strike.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for being so nice to us here in Detroit, and we'll be at the Fox Theater till Wednesday.
So come in and let Jack count you.
Yeah. And we hope to see all our friends in Cleveland when we open at the Palace Theater Friday. And next Sunday, we'll be broadcasting from the Carter Hotel in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, let's see. What else?
Oh, Jack, a note just came from your room clerk at the hotel where you're staying.
The room clerk? What does it say?
It says, Dear Mr. Benny, I took the matter up with the manager, and he says the price of your room cannot be reduced, as no one asked you to launder the bed linen yourself. However, we're curious to find out why every piece of your linen has Rochester's footprints on it.
Gee, I told Rochester he was kicking too hard. In Cleveland, I'll make him wear socks.
Good night, folks.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
American.
Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. First again with Tobacco Man.
More independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
There you have the findings of a recent impartial survey which reveals the personal smoking preference of tobacco men, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen.
Yes, the survey shows Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man.
First again with Tobacco Men. First again with the men who can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. So light up a Lucky. Puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. So for your own real, deep down smoking enjoyment, smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. Lucky Strike. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Benny and his gang are appearing this week at the Palace Theater here in Cleveland. Right now, Jack is in his dressing room, and Rochester is helping him make up for the next stage show. Let's look in on it.
Rochester, how long do you... Ouch! How long do you think it'll... Ouch! Be before... Ouch! Ouch!
Boss, hold still or you'll knock the tweezers out of my hand.
All right, but try to go... Ouch!
It's your own fault, boss. If you'd buy a razor blade, I wouldn't have to pluck out your whiskers.
I can't get this close a shave with a razor.
Okay, I'm through now.
Good. I have to go on stage again in a half hour. Gee, I'm glad business is so good. It was swell in Detroit, too. What was the total receipts at the box office in Detroit, Roger?
We took in $93,267.43 in a Hoover button.
A Hoover button? Who put that in?
Hoover.
Hoover?
Yeah, he ain't worked in 16 years.
Now, Rochester, I'd like
Oh,
to...
say, boss, you better give me a little more petty cash. I had to pay the cleaners $3.50.
Oh, I didn't even know my stuff came back from the cleaners. Where is it?
Well, I folded your slacks and put them in the trunk. Mm-hmm. I brushed your coat and put it in the closet. And I parted your hair and put it in the drawer.
Oh, is that my hair? I've been throwing it breadcrumbs all morning.
Now, hold still, boss, while I finish making you up. I gotta put a little more mascara on the eyes. There.
Thank you, Rochester. You know, during our last show yesterday, when the spotlight was shining on me, I heard a woman in the second row turn to her friend and say, "Oh, Mildred, don't his eyes look like twilight on the blue waters of Lake Erie?"
Well, I don't blame her, boss. Your eyes are really beautiful.
I know.
It's a shame. It's a shame you have to blink and close them every once in a while.
Yes, especially here in Cleveland. There's so many people who paid to see him, you know. Anyway, you better finish the... Come in. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Rochester.
Hello, Miss Livingston.
Jack, I brought you some coffee and sandwiches.
Thanks, Mary. What are you laughing at?
Well, you'll find it out soon enough, so I may as well tell you. You know that big life-size picture of you out in front of the theater?
Yeah.
Well, some kid with a crayon drew a mustache, whiskers, and long curls on it.
Lo.
Yeah. You look like a cocker spaniel with padded shoulders.
Oh, that's terrible. A thing like that can hurt business, you know. And they're on a percentage, too.
Oh, calm down, Jack. You weren't mad in Detroit when someone tucked up your picture in front of the Fox Theater.
Well, that was different.
I'll say it was. They painted a fan in each hand, and you broke the box office record.
Yeah, that picture even fooled me twice. I bought tickets myself.
By the way, boys, I've been meaning to ask you, do you want me to go out and buy you a pair of those elevator shoes?
What for?
Well, when you do your love scenes on the stage with Miss Marilyn Maxwell, she's taller than you are.
Oh, well, that doesn't bother me.
Well, it should. I caught the show from out front, and you certainly couldn't improve that love scene you do with Marilyn.
What do you mean?
Well, when you kiss her, you're supposed to put your arms around her and tenderly draw her up close to you.
Huh?
You're not supposed to grab her by the earlobes and pull yourself up.
Earlobes. Why don't you stop making things up?
I'm finished with your face, boss. Here's a mirror so you can see how you look.
Well, say, you did a wonderful job, Rochester. See, there isn't even a trace of a wrinkle. What'd you use, a new wrinkle cream?
No, putty.
Putty? Mary, what's so funny?
Before a man can make up your face, he has to join the Plasters Union.
Look, Mary, I'm nervous enough as it is without you coming in here and all... My goodness, everything happens at once. There's the door and there's the phone in the other room.
I'll get the phone.
I'll answer the door.
How do you do? My name is Mink. I'm the manager of this theater.
Oh, won't you come in, Mr. Ming?
Thank you.
You know, you look very familiar. It seems that I know you.
Well, you should. I used to be in vaudeville, too. You and I were on the same bill together in Sandusky.
Say, that's right. In
1928. I'll never forget it. You were celebrating your 39th birthday.
No. I wasn't 39 years old. You see, I threw that party to celebrate what a sensation I was that week. We took in $39.
$39?
Yes.
Oh,
That's all right.
with good luck, we may have a party here.
Yeah, with good luck, you'll be here on time, too. Rochester. Anyway, Mr. Mink, I do remember you as... I do remember you as a vaudeville actor. How come you gave it up?
Well, I just played it smart. I saw my act was falling apart. I was getting old. I was washed up, so I quit and became a theater manager.
Gee, I wonder if... No.
What is it, Mr. Benny?
Well, I thought maybe if you spoke to someone of the theater owners, you could... No, why should I do anything for Fred Allen? I mean... Anyway, thanks for dropping in, Mr. Ming.
You're quite welcome. It was nice seeing you again.
Oh, by the way, when I'm working on the stage, I wish you'd turn the microphone up a little higher. People can't hear me beyond the third row.
Oh, well, as soon as we get people beyond the third row, I will.
Thank you.
Oh, Jack.
What?
Jack, I'm glad I answered the phone. It was my sister Babe calling from Plainfield.
Oh, your sister Babe, huh?
Yes, and she has wonderful news. She thinks she's engaged.
Babe thinks she's engaged? I mean, doesn't she know?
Well, she's not sure. Her
Oh.
boyfriend got down on one knee, but just as he started to speak, the battery in her hearing aid went dead.
Oh, what a shame. Is there any other news from home?
Yes, they told me that she was...
Oh, see who's at the door, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
More excitement in here.
Is Mr. Benny in Rochester?
Yeah, come right in. Oh, boss, it's Miss Maxwell.
Hello, Marilyn. Come on in. Sit down.
Well, thank you. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Marilyn.
Look, Jack, I don't like disturbing you in your dressing room, but I had something I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, that's quite all right. What?
Hey, Marilyn, how come you're wearing your hair down like that?
to cover my earlobes. They're 6 inches long now.
Well, they were certainly pretty when we started. But, Marilyn, I do want to thank you for your cooperation during this tour. You're really lending a touch of beauty to our vaudeville engagement.
Well, thank you, Jack.
Jack's right, Marilyn. I caught the first show at the Palace, and you certainly looked beautiful in that black gown.
Oh, you mean that strapless one?
Yes, it's really gorgeous.
That's right, Marilyn. And all week long I've been meaning to ask you something about that strapless gown. What keeps it up?
The Cleveland censor.
Oh. That's pretty good. You must have brought your own writer with you, I think. Now, Mary, what number are you going to sing in the next show?
Hooray for Love.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yes.
Yes, Mary. Would you like to hear it?
I certainly would.
Well, all right, here goes.
Oh, just a minute, Marilyn. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes, who are you?
I'm a hard carrier. I brought you some more makeup.
Oh, good. Just dump it in the corner. Go ahead, Marilyn. Let's have your song.
Love, love, hooray for love. Who is ever too blasé for love? Make this a night for love. If we have to fight, let's fight for love. Some sigh and cry for love. Ah, but in Perry they'd die for love. Some waste away for love. Just the same, hooray for love. It's the wonder of the world. It's the rocket to the moon. It gets you high, gets you low, but once you get that glow, oh, some beat their brains for love, other fellas miss their trains for love. Green stars emote for love, even politicians vote for love. Kings lose their thrones for love, lovers disconnect their phones for love. Some break the rule for love, just the same, hooray for it. It's a lovely day for it, just the same, hooray for love.
Wonderful song, Marilyn. Wonderful. I'm sure the audience will like it.
Well, thanks, Jack. By the way, I haven't seen Dennis around all week. Where is he?
Dennis Day? Well, Dennis isn't here. You see, when we went to the railroad station in Detroit, he got mixed up and took the wrong train.
Well, where is he now?
Well, if the Republicans can't decide on anybody, he may be our next president. Anyway, we'll probably... Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Hello, girls.
Hello, Phil.
Hello, Phil.
Well, 2 new looks with 1 old schnook.
Phil, don't be so smart.
Hey, Jackson, this dressing room you've got here is wonderful. Mine ain't got nothing in it.
Well, Phil, if there's anything you need, just take it out of here.
Okay. I'll take this.
Put that down. That's rubbing alcohol. You know, there's no telling what that'll do to your stomach.
Well, let's find out.
Phil.
It's too late. The bottle's empty.
Well, to each his own. Imagine anybody.
Hey, now look, Jack.
Phil, turn around. Your breath is scorching my soup.
You know, Jack, I think Phil ought to wash himself a little bit, especially here in Cleveland. After all, Cleveland is Bob Hope's hometown.
Mary's right, Phil. You know, the people in Cleveland think so much of Bob Hope that I'm surprised we even got in here.
No kidding, Jackson. Do they really think that much of Hope here?
Do they? You know those white lines that run down the middle of the street?
Yeah?
Pepsodent.
put it on with a toothbrush yet.
Look, Jackson, this might be Bob Hope's hometown, but I heard you played here long before Hope even thought of being a comedian.
I didn't know that, Jack. When did you play here before?
Oh, I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Phil, how long ago was it?
I don't know, but when Jack was here, the Cleveland Indians were scalping people, and the Carter Hotel was a wigwam.
Okay, Wanga, okay. Gee. Hey, look what time it is. Say, Marilyn, you better get ready for the next show.
All right, Jack. Say, Marilyn, I noticed during the first show you wore those lovely long false eyelashes, but during the second show you didn't have them on.
Well, Jack told me he was the star and made me give them to him.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Jack, come here a minute.
Okay.
Bend your head down.
Like this?
Yes. Here, Marilyn. Right. Come on, let's go to your dressing room.
Oh, well, I didn't look good in them anyway. Say, Rochester, how's the house out there for the next show? Is it packed?
Yeah, very good, boss. Very good.
That's fine. You know, Rochester, I'm doing everything to try and set a new box office record.
I know, boss, but didn't you go a little too far when you made the ushers buy tickets?
Well, if the orchestra boys aren't complaining, why should they? And by the way, how are we doing on the popcorn?
Not so good since you substituted chicken fat for butter.
Yeah, I never thought they'd notice it. Well, Rochester, I'm kind of hungry. Open those sandwiches, and would you please get me a glass of milk?
Yes, sir.
Phil, what do you have?
Bicarbonate of soda.
Bicarbonate of soda?
Yeah, something happened to my stomach when you mentioned milk.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Phil. Forgive me.
Look, I'm going in the other room and lie down for a minute.
Okay, Phil, but take off your shoes if you're going to. I don't... Now, who can that be? Come in.
Pardon me for disturbing you, Mr. Benny, but may I have your autograph?
Certainly. Who shall I make it out to?
Bob Feller.
Bob Feller! Well, Bob Feller, it's certainly a pleasure having you drop in to see me.
Well, Jack, when I saw your name in front of the theater, I just couldn't walk right on by like everybody else.
Oh, you mean you bought a ticket and saw my stage show?
I sure did, Jack. I thought you saw me. When you took a bow, you knocked a bag of popcorn out of my hand with your eyelashes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, let me wipe the chicken fat off your sleeve. Well, Bob, you're still with the Cleveland Indians, aren't you?
Yes, this is my 12th season, Jack.
And you're a pitcher, isn't that right?
That's what it says in my book.
Well, yeah. You wrote a book, didn't you? How to Become a Pitcher. I read it.
Maybe I should.
No. Not after that game today. Oh, that's pretty good. You must have brought your own writer, too.
Hey, Jackson, how do you expect anybody to get any sleep around here?
Oh, Phil, come on in. I want you to meet Bob Feller, pitcher for the Cleveland Indians.
Oh, hiya, Bob.
Hiya, Phil. Say, Phil, you're a pitcher, too, aren't you?
Me a pitcher? No, I'm a musician. Didn't you see me leading the band?
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Certainly.
Gee, I wish I could do that.
Why?
With a wind-up like that, there'd be no one that could hold me.
You're not kidding. And say, Bob, I meant to tell you, I like that nice stadium you have here in Cleveland. Have you seen it, Phil?
Yeah, it's a wonderful ballpark, and right on the edge of Lake Erie. I saw a game the other day, and... Hey, wait a minute. I just thought of something. The other day when you were playing Boston, you only had 8 men.
Oh, no, we had 9.
No, I counted everyone on the diamond, and there were only 8.
Oh, you could only see 8. When Ted Williams is up, we put the left fielder in a canoe.
That'll teach you to ask questions. Now, don't...
Jack!
I'm here, Don.
Jack, I've got the quartet with me, and don't you think...
Wait a minute, Don. First, I want you to meet Bob Feller.
Hello, Don.
Well, I'm certainly glad to know you, Bob, and I'm particularly glad you're here because the quartet's going to do a number dedicated to the Cleveland Indians.
Say, that'll be swell. And, Don... Hey, wait a minute, Don. Why is your coat so wrinkled?
Well, I was at the ball game Friday night. It rained, and they used my coat to cover the infield.
Oh, yes, I read about that. One of the ground crew got lost in your pocket. Well, Don, where's the quartet for the commercial?
In my other pocket.
Oh. Well, bring them out. Oh, hello, fellas. Don't mind that, Bob. I have to pay them extra if they talk, you know. All right, sportsmen, we haven't got much time, so let's hear the number.
Okay, hit it, boys.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me a package of Lucky Strikes. That's a cigarette everyone likes. So let's puff, puff, puff on a Lucky. Just remember the name. For it's 1, 2, 3 Lucky Strikes at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Young Bobby Feller, he pitched today. They made 2 home runs, but he won anyway. So let's run, run, run for a Lucky. When they're put out, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 Lucky Strikes at the old ball game.
Wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. Boys, don't dance. Not in front. Boys, stop dancing. Wait a minute, fellas. Wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute! I'm so embarrassed in front of Bob Feller. They said, why is it every time we...
Oh, Jack, Meryl and I would like to know...
Oh, come in, girls. I want you to meet Bob Feller. Bob, I want you to meet Bob. Bob, why are you staring at the girls like that?
Well, if I had half the curves they've got, I could have beaten Boston.
Very good, Bob. Very good. Bob, this is Mary Livingston, and this is Marilyn Maxwell.
Hello, Bob.
Hello. Say, Mary,
Yes, Bob?
I feel as though I know you because I met your mother about 2 years ago.
My mother, really?
Yeah, she pitched against me in Plainfield.
That's funny. I thought she was in the National League.
You're both wrong. Her arm went bad. She's wrestling now.
All right. Well, Bob, we'll be going on stage in a few minutes. Why don't you wait till after the next show and we'll all go out to dinner?
I'd love to, Jack. Do you mind if I call my wife?
Not at all.
Which reminds me, Jack, you ought to know my wife. She comes from Waukegan.
She does? I didn't know you married a girl from Waukegan.
Oh, sure. Her name was Miss Windsor.
Winther. Oh, I not only know her, I used to take her out. Marcella Winther.
No, that's her mother. My wife's name is Virginia.
Let me see, her mother. But it can't be. I remember carrying her books to school. She had long blonde curls.
Yes, with a little freckle on the right cheek.
Yes.
Oh, that was her father.
Now cut that out. Say, Bob, I'd like to ask you a question. Isn't there some guy from radio and movies, some fella that's part owner of the Cleveland Indians?
Yes, there is.
Well, you know, I own the Waukegan Bloomer girls, and I was just wondering if... Well, look who's here!
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bob, back in his hometown of Cleveland to watch the Indians play Hope. Telling you all, if you use Pepsodent like the baseball players do, you will be keeping Bob, feller. He did it today.
At least say hello to me or something.
Please. Well, here I am. I saw both games today. What a team here. You know, they don't have big league baseball in Hollywood, and I'll tell you why. It's tough sliding into second base with a bare midriff.
Bob, this happens to be my
Nothing
program.
for the tailor, please.
Well, it's a cinch we'll be cut off the air today.
Oh, but it's great being home again. All my relatives met me at the station yesterday, and I was really touched. I have a lot of relatives here in Ohio. I have one brother doing fine in Canton, another doing 5 at Columbus.
Bob, will you wait a minute?
Please. Who is this, a house detective? Please.
You know, you might as well quit. You're not getting paid for this, you know.
Don't ruin our finished gag, will you, please? Wait a minute! But my relatives met me yesterday morning with a big brass band. That is, I thought it was a big brass band. It turned out to be a lot of spittoons going to the Republican convention. And it was different when I lived here years ago. This time the cops drove me from the station. Of course, the city has changed quite a bit. I can remember a lot of little things about this town. I can't seem to get them on the phone, though.
I might as well go home.
Come on. What is that? Something left over from the Eagles convention? What is it? I went out to my old grammar school yesterday, Fairmount Junior High, and there was the same old desk, the same old inkwell, same old shaving kit. I want to tell you it was silly. What memories that brought back. I'll never forget second grade where I met my first girl. She was 7, I was 18. And I was so proud. On my desk they have a plaque. It says, Bob Hope slept here. And today I went back and saw the house where I used to live. Boy, what a tough neighborhood. It was so tough the freight trains used to tiptoe past. But it was wonderful. I'll never forget when I left home to go on the road, Father said I would go a long way. In fact, he nailed the door of the box cop. He did. Yes, he did. In fact, he nailed the door of the box.
I know, we heard it. We know the joke. We know the joke. Look,
that's where you could have come in, you know.
Now, what are you doing here? I want to know, what are you doing here?
I'm getting laughs. What are you doing here?
I'm trying to. And hey, Bob, here's one of your boys, Bob Feller.
One of our boys. That's an annuity, Jack, this boy. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
2 Bobs. That'll get you a warm beer in England. Thanks for letting me have that one joke.
I have a line you gave me which is no good. It says it didn't get you anything here, which you got a lot of.
Well, look, Hope, let me ask you something. What are you really doing here in Cleveland?
Well, I came here to watch out for my interests. I found out you were playing here, and this is my hometown, you know.
Well, what about it?
Well, how much money have you taken in at the Palace Theater already?
Well, so far, about $34,000.
Well, give me half or I'll sue you. I don't muscle into Waukegan, you know.
What do you tell? I'm playing this whole circuit. Last week in Detroit, I took in $93,267.43.
And a Hoover button.
How do you know?
I ain't spending any Dewey buttons to see you.
You know, Bob, you're cheaper than Fred Allen, and he's almost as cheap as I am. I'm telling you.
And Crosby's cheaper than all of us.
I think you got something
there. Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. First again with Tobacco Man.
As a recent impartial survey reveals, more independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next 2 leading brands combined. More than the next 2 leading brands combined. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. Yes, that's what the survey shows. Now, listen to a statement recently made by Mr. James Alfred Walker, veteran tobacco buyer of Durham, North Carolina. From what he knows, from what he sees, listen to what he said.
Season after season, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy good, ripe tobacco that makes a real fine smoke. I've smoked Lucky 17 years.
So light up a Lucky. Puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. So smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. First again with Tobacco Man.
More independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined. Yes, more than the next two leading brands combined.
There you have the findings of a recent impartial survey, which reveals the personal smoking preference of the men who really know tobacco. Auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen.
So for your own real, deep-down smoking enjoyment, light up a Lucky. Light up a really fine cigarette, and puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. So smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. Lucky Strike.
From New York City, the Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester Dennison, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last broadcast of this season. We've had 39 strenuous weeks of radio, and on the shoulders of the star of our show fell the task of carrying this burden. So, without further ado, we bring you a very tiresome comedian.
That's tired.
Jack Benny!
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking, and Don, you're right. This has been a very grueling season. Work, work, nothing but work. I tell you, Don, I'm so tired right now I can hardly keep my big blue eyes open. I'm really all in.
Well, Jack, I know it's been a tough season, but I can't understand why you should be that tired. After all, you're only 39.
Well, look, Don, it's hard for a man of your age to realize how tired you can get. How old are you?
38.
Well, just wait 15 years till you're 39. You'll be tired, too. Of course, the burden you're carrying is not on your shoulders. And how you got a pair of pants to fit your burden is beyond me.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Jack. I wish you'd stop joking about my being fat. It's embarrassing. People on the street point at me. Why, taxi drivers won't even stop for me.
Yeah, I can't understand that, Don. New York taxi drivers are known for their courtesy and politeness. I take the fellow who drove me from the station to my hotel. When I got out, he was so shy he wouldn't even ask me for the fare. He just grabbed me by the ankles, turned me upside down, and shook me. Can you imagine that?
Oh, my goodness, Jack. What did you say?
Nothing. I had my money in my mouth. Anyway, I will say this cab driver is very efficient. He picked me up at the station, drove straight to the Sherry Netherlands Hotel.
Oh, do you live there?
No, he does. You know, these cab drivers... Well, look who's here. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Jack. Hello, everybody.
Well, Mary, here we are finishing another season. Another 39 weeks that you've worked for me. How do you feel?
Hungry.
What do you mean, hungry?
On what you pay me, I can't even open a window with the automat.
All right. You and your jokes, automat. I saw you at the store club last night.
I was selling cigarettes.
Selling cigarettes? How'd you do?
Not bad. I was first again with Tobacco Men.
That's pretty good. You know, we can use that routine at the Palladium Theater in London. Just think, Mary, pretty soon we'll be on the high seas on our way to England.
I know, and Jack, before we go, you ought to have all your clothes cleaned. That ship we're going on is kind of big. You won't be able to lean over the side and do your laundry.
I'm glad you didn't stop too long there. I'll find a way. Mary, I tried to reach you yesterday. Where were you?
I was visiting my sister Babe in the Polyclinic Hospital.
Gee, I didn't know Babe was sick.
She's not. She's the janitor there.
Honey, I knew she could do it. I can't understand how Mert lets her... Come in.
Telegram for Jack Benny.
Here, boy, I'll take it. Here's a tip for you.
Oh, boy, a nickel. Now I can live at the Sherry Netherlands.
Jack, who's the telegram from?
Wait till I open it, Mary. Here, Mary, you open it. I haven't had my Wheaties today.
Okay.
What does it say?
Dear Jack, understand you're going to England next Wednesday. Wish I had gone last Thursday. Signed, Joe Walcott.
Isn't that nice? He wired me as soon as he came to. That was really...
All right, Jackson, they've waited long enough, so stand aside, Dad. Let them see me. Let them hear something pretty.
Well, Phil, here we are finishing another season. Another 39 weeks that you worked for me. How do you feel?
Thirsty.
Oh, fine. Mary's hungry and you're thirsty.
Hey, Jackson, were you at the Lewis Walcott fight at the Yankee Stadium Friday night?
Sure, Phil. I was sitting right up front.
Did you hear the big reception I got when I came in? Everybody jumped to their feet and cheered and yelled.
Really, Phil? When'd you come in?
At 2 minutes and 56 seconds of the 11th round.
Heaven's sake, Phil, they were cheering the fight. Jersey Joe Walcott was staggering all over the place.
So was I. What? I hope Walcott felt better the next morning than I did.
I'm sure he did.
Say, Phil, I haven't seen you since you came in from Cleveland. Where have you been?
Oh, Dante, I had to stop off in Philadelphia to cast my vote at the Republican convention.
You, Phil, you cast your vote?
Certainly. I was chairman of the delegation from Doo-Wah Dennis.
You can't give them those words.
Well, why do you keep putting them in there?
What? Didn't you think the convention was exciting?
The convention, it sure was. Those Republicans must be pretty sure of getting into the White House. They nominated Dewey, Warren, and 4 piano movers. And you know, kids, it's quite an honor to us Californians to have our governor nominated for vice president. I'm pretty thrilled because just 2 years ago, Earl Warren was a guest on my program.
Yeah, and Jackson, that Governor Warren's really a good-looking guy, ain't he?
He sure is, Phil. He's very popular, too.
Yeah, what a guy. Handsome, beautiful smile, full of charm and personality. Why, if he could lead a band, he'd be another Phil Harris.
How do you like that?
Say, Phil.
What is it, Livy?
If Walcott's head was as big as yours, Lewis would have hit it in the first round.
Mary, I could kiss you for that.
Thanks, Jack, but I'm still hungry.
Well, I'll get you a sandwich when we get to London. No use having one here. We may have a rough voyage. Oh, say, Don.
Yes, Jack?
I've had a request to repeat the saber dance on my violin. Is the quartet here?
Yes, there they are, the sportsmen.
Oh, yes, I didn't see them. Hello, fellas. Hello, fellas. Boys, I said hello. Don, squeeze them, will you?
Okay.
Good. Now, wait till I get my violin. Hand it to me, will you, Mary?
All right, but I'll hate myself in the morning.
Never mind, give it to me. All right, boys, let's go. The saber dance.
You better try a Lucky. They are made down in Kentucky. Better buy Lucky, better try Lucky, better buy Lucky, better try Lucky. That's a cigarette that you will like. You better hurry, hurry. You don't want us all to worry. Hurry up, buy 'em, hurry up, try 'em. Look at your missing, look at your missing. Hurry up and try a Lucky Strike. For your own enjoyment, you should try Lucky, for then you'll see why. L-O-agree, L-S-M-M-F-D. Missing if you've got to focus this and hurry now and buy a carton. That should be enough to start a Lucky. That will be your favorite brand. They are the best brand in the land. we finish, there is one important thing, as you may guess. Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
Boy, that was wonderful. I was never better. I mean, you were good, too, in there, you know. I wish you were going to England with me.
Hey, Jackson, while we're over in London, I'm going to buy one of them English suites.
You mean a suit?
Yeah, and I ain't going to take just any old English suit in London. I'm going to pick a dilly. Oh, Harris, I'll bet Milton Berle's got that written down already.
Written down. He's got it on television right now. And not only that, as soon as we get...
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Dennis. Well, Dennis, here we are finishing another season. Another 39 weeks you've been working for me. How do you feel?
At the Sherry Netherlands.
What?
Gee, I read the wrong line.
Dennis, I haven't seen you since we got to town. You been having a good time?
Boy, I'll say. Gee, I really like New York. The people here are so friendly and so trusting.
Trusting? What do you mean, kid?
Well, last night a fella stopped me on the street and he wanted to borrow $5. And when I gave it to him, he didn't even ask me my name.
For heaven's sake, Dennis, if he didn't get your name, how will you know who to return it to?
Well, he's stuck with the money. Let him worry about it.
Dennis, kid, come here a minute.
Huh?
I want to feel your head, see if it's ripe enough to pick yet.
Say, Dennis, I want to thank you for taking me to the fight Friday night. You were the only one that asked me.
Dennis, you take Mary to the fight?
Yeah. Gee, what excitement at the end of the 11th round when the police all gathered around, picked him off the floor, and carried him back to his seat.
Joe Wolcott?
No, Phil Harris.
Oh, yes, Phil.
Gee, I was so proud. He's my friend.
Dennis, everybody here in the studio is anxious to hear your song. How about it?
Okay.
Now, hold it, kid. Come in. Well, Mr. Kitzel.
Hello, Mr. Benny boy. Oh, my, it's a pleasure to see you.
Well, Mr. Kitzel, how do you happen to be in New York?
I came here last week to go to a wedding. A cousin of mine got married.
Oh, well, congratulations. Now, Mr. Kitzel, did you have a good time at the wedding? It was a big party, eh?
Your wine flowed like celery tonic.
Celery tonic?
That's a vegetarian champagne.
Oh.
And then right after the ceremony was over, I was the first in line to kiss the groom.
The groom? You're supposed to kiss the bride.
With her face, we had trouble getting the groom to do it.
Oh, well, did you meet a lot of your old friends there?
Everybody who I knew for years, even Tansy Nussbaum.
Tansy Nussbaum, huh?
She's working for, you should excuse the expression,
I have
Fred
an
Allen.
idea. Yeah, I have an idea. Well, Mr. Kitzel, I'm awfully glad you dropped in.
Thank you, Mr. Benny. And here I brought you a farewell present for your boat trip. I had that made especially for you.
Well, let's see it. Now, isn't that cute? A long bagel that spells out Bon Voyage. Thank you very much, Mr. Kitzel.
Use it in good health.
Thank you. Goodbye. Isn't it funny how I run into Mr. Kitzel nearly every place I go? Now, come on, Dennis. It's time for your song. What's it going to be?
It's a lullaby that I recorded for RCA Victor called Sleep My Child.
Swell. Go right ahead.
Every night a young little mother sings a lullaby. Tenderly she clings to her baby when he starts to cry. Her face is like an angel as she looks up to the sky. And she sings this song of hope that will not die. Sleep, my child. Though your daddy's far away, sleep, my child. We'll be back with him someday. He is trying so to find a home that's safe for you and me, where we still may share some happiness and live a life that's free. Sleep, my child. We must try to keep from you all the pain and the sadness we've been through. You will have your chance to grow strong in some fine land where you belong. Sleep, my Schlaf, mein Kind. For your daddy's far away. Schlaf, mein Kind. We'll be back with him someday. You will have your chance to grow strong in some fine land where you belong. Mein
really wonderful number, Dennis, and you sang it beautifully. And, Phil, it's the first time I've heard the orchestra sound so nice. I'll take it. It's probably Rochester. Hello?
Hello, this is the operator. I have a long-distance call for Jack Benny in New York City.
Long distance? Where's it from?
Harlem.
That's what I thought. Put him on. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Well, it's about time you called, Rochester. I haven't heard from you since we arrived in New York.
I'm sorry, boss, but Monday night when I got to Harlem, there was a big party celebrating Joe Lewis's victory.
Monday night? Wait a minute, Rochester. It wasn't until Friday night that Lewis beat Walcott.
We're still celebrating his victory over Snelling.
But that was 10 years ago. Why are they holding the party now?
It was postponed on account of rain.
Well, Rochester, I hope it's not a wild party. What are you having to drink?
I don't know, but I'm calling from the chandelier.
That's what I thought. Now, Rochester, I hope you packed everything in my trunk that I need. You know, while I'm in London, I'm going to participate in the Olympic Games.
You are?
Yes, sir.
Well,
surprised.
Hope you win, boss. I hope you win.
You do?
Yeah, America hasn't had a tiddlywink champion in years.
Rochester, I'm not going to London just to tiddly. Look, for your information, I'm going to throw the discus.
You're going to what, the who?
I'm going to throw the discus. Throwing the discus is an ancient Roman sport that was popular during the days of Nero.
I thought you were playing the fiddle then.
Now, cut that out. Rochester, when I leave, I hope you'll be down to the dock to see me off.
Oh, I will, boss. I will.
Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye.
I'm going to miss Rochester, too. But just think, kids, in a little while we'll be out on the Atlantic Ocean. Headed Come in.
Pardon me, I was looking for the washroom, but this will do. Why, Fred! Jack, I really dropped in tonight.
Wait a minute, Fred. Wait a minute. Let me look at you.
Yeah?
Gee, you're looking swell.
Yeah?
I've never seen you have such rosy-colored bags under your eyes.
Look, Jack, I dropped in
and a pained expression on your face. You look like a hen trying to lay a basketball. I'm getting mine in first.
Well, all right, Jack.
And those wrinkles. Honestly, Fred, your face looks like a convertible with the top halfway down, you know?
Now, sit down, little man. You must be tired after that Bob Hopian outburst. Ladies and gentlemen, please tune in your radios an hour from now when this nature boy of the gay 90s is a guest on my program without his writers.
Now, Fred, what...
Benny, without his writers, you can't tell Benny from Mr. Hush.
Now, wait a minute, Fred. What do
And
you...
he should talk about the way I look. Benny's hairline has receded so far, he combs his eyebrows to keep up his morale.
Fred, look.
I have seen more fuzz on a harvest moon. I'd hate to be drowning and have someone throw me a line like that.
Persimmon face. Look at it. What did you come barging in here for anyway?
Well, frankly, I didn't drop in here to see you, Jack. It's Mary I'd like to talk to. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Fred. What is it you wanted?
Well, Mary, you can do me a great favor. I came...
Hiya, Frederick. Long time no see.
Well, if it isn't Phil Harris, Hollywood's answer to Look, Ma, I'm drinking. There's Dennis Day. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Allen.
Look, Fred, we're doing a program. Now, what do you want to see Mary about?
Yes, Fred, what is it?
Well, Mary, every now and then, Portland likes to take a couple of weeks off my program, and I thought a hungry girl like you might like to take her place.
Well, thanks, Fred, but I don't think I could take Portland's place.
Oh, yes, you could. Why don't you just try reading a line or two?
Wait a minute. Fred, I don't want my program sounding like yours.
I had 3 answers to that, Mr. Benny. 2 of them the censor took out, and the third one I wouldn't dare tell without an airwick on the premises.
Oh, Jack, I'll just imitate Portland for a second. It won't sound like Fred's program.
Well,
go ahead, Mary.
Well, all right. Oh, Mr. Allen! Mr. Allen!
What is it, Portland?
I'm from the South, the deep South, that is. Terrible. I'm not wrong for this one.
Dennis.
Howdy, Bob.
Now, stop it. Look, Fred, will you please let me run my own show? This is worse than last week when Bob Hope dropped in.
Not worse than last week. No.
We used up so much time, my program was cut off the air 10 seconds too soon.
Well, I thought it was cut off 30 minutes too late.
Now, listen,
Oh, wait a minute, Jack. Don't get excited. And, Fred, as much as I'd like to substitute for Portland, I couldn't. You see, Jack has me signed to exclusive contract.
Well, Mary, that's nothing to worry about. Contracts can be broken. Let me see yours.
Well, Fred, I'd rather not. I'm too modest.
What has modesty got to do with your contract?
It's tattooed on my back.
You're darn right. Anyway, Mary, you're under exclusive contract to me. If you go on Fred's program, I'm not going to take you to
Oh,
Europe.
all right, Jack, I won't.
You know, Fred, we're going to appear at the Palladium in London.
Yeah?
And then we're going to tour the continent. We're even going to Germany.
Good. That'll teach them to start wars over there.
That I'm going to ignore entirely, as I hoped the audience would.
Oh, Jack, stop arguing. Why don't you 2 kiss and make up?
Well, all right, Mary, I'm willing.
Of course you're willing. You have to kiss me. Look what I'm stuck with. Anyway, I'm leaving for England soon, so I won't have to see you for a while.
Well, I can't imagine you spending the money to go to Europe.
What are you talking about? I always spend money. Well, I even went to see the Lewis Walcott fight.
I know. I saw you coming out of that newsreel theater.
What?
You spend money. Why, the last time you opened your wallet, Washington said to Lincoln, "Pull down the shade, Abe. The light's killing me."
Listen, now, another crack like that, and I'll punch you so hard it'll straighten out your wrinkles and make your face 4 feet square.
I've seen better material than that in a $4 suit. Why, you refugee from the
Yours
old
is worse than mine. Now, just read it. Go ahead. Wait till you hear this one. You think mine is a stinker? Listen to this one. Go ahead.
Why, you refugee from the old folks' home? You want the rest of it?
Yeah.
If you had enough strength to double up your fist, you'd be too tired to swing it.
That gives you an idea. That's what you think. You better shut up or I'll pull your lip down and hook it to your belt buckle.
Oh, brother.
Now, I'm warning you, Alan. You better get out while I still got control of my temper.
Now, careful now, Benny. You're liable to blow your top, and you paid $8 for it.
You finally...
It's about time.
Throw him out.
Don't bother, Mary. I'm leaving anyway.
Go on, beat it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not appearing on your program tonight.
Then you won't get paid.
What time's rehearsal?
8 o'clock.
I'll be there. Goodbye, Fred.
Goodbye, Jack.
You know, Mary, he's a sweet guy. Play, Phil.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but first...
Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. First again with Tobacco Man.
As a recent impartial survey reveals, more independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next 2 leading brands combined. Yes, more than the next 2 leading brands combined. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. That's what the survey shows. Now listen to a statement recently made by Mr. James Maynard Talley, tobacco warehouseman from Durham, North Carolina. From what he knows, from what he sees, this is what he said.
Season after season, I've seen good, ripe, mild tobacco bought by the makers of Lucky Strike. I've smoked Lucky's 18 years. They give me a mild, mellow smoke.
So take a tip from the experts, and for your own real, deep-down smoking enjoyment, light up a Lucky. Light up a really fine cigarette, and puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. So smoke the smoke tobacco experts smoke. Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man. Lucky Strike.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my cast, my writers, everybody associated with my program, I want to thank all of you who have been listening to us for nigh on to 16 years. We'll see you again in the fall. I want to thank Alan for lousing up my program, and I hope you'll tune into our summer replacement, a new and exciting quiz program called Let's Talk Hollywood. The show will feature George Murphy and Edith Gwynn, and the
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Herbert Marshall as the man called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, in all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find the man called X. Ken Thurston first saw the girl in the lobby of a New York building in which the offices of the Bureau were located. She was pleading with the elevator stalker, pleading in a dazed, frightened manner.
The man who is known as X, I must speak with him. It is about Maggiore, you understand? Per favore, please, I must speak with him. I must.
A few minutes later, the girl sits quietly, a little frightened, in a private office at the Bureau as Ken talks to her sympathetically.
So you want to talk with this man called X?
See, the man who is X. You know him, senor?
I think I can help you find him. If you'll help me. Now, suppose you stop after telling me your name.
My name, senor?
Yes, that's right.
But I do not know my name. That is strange, is it not? I do not know my own name.
Oh, it's not important. It'll come to you. Do you remember why you came here to steal?
But I have told you, senor. It is about Maggiore. You understand, senor? About Maggiore.
Maggiore?
Oh, no, you do not understand. But this man who is X, he will know. See, he must know.
Of course, but when we see him, You must tell me where you're from. What is troubling you?
But I cannot do this, senor. I do not remember. I can remember nothing. Only that I must see the man called X. About Maggiore. Please, per favore, take me to him, senor. He must help me. Please, please.
Yes, I'll take you to him. But first, you rest a bit. Now, here, come with me. Come this way. Miss Brooks, will you see that the signorina rests comfortably for a half hour or so? And get in touch with Dr. Bowman at the hospital. I want her placed in his care.
Certainly, Mr. Hastings. Here, you come with me, dear.
Now, everything will be all right.
Gracias.
Did you get it on the dictograph, Chief?
Yes, I got it, Ken. An amnesia case, eh?
Sounds like it.
Think it might be a fake?
Dr. Beaumont will tell us. Mind if I use your office phone, Chief?
No, go right ahead.
Hello, Esmond. Thurston. The Spartivento sailed from Naples last week en route to New York. The Maggiore art collection was aboard.
The Maggiore art collection, of course.
Yeah, now check on it and see where it is now, will you? Thanks.
So you think the girl was talking about the Maggiore collection, eh, Ken?
Could be. What do you know about the collection, Chief?
Well, let's see. It's world famous, looted by the Nazis, recently recovered, and it's coming over here for some kind of public exhibition, isn't it?
That's right. It's going to tour the country. Proceeds going to a rehabilitation fund for Italian war orphans.
Yeah, but if that's what the girl was talking about, why should she look for you? The Bureau hasn't any interest in an art collection.
I think we have, Chief.
Huh?
That collection means a new life for thousands of Italian kids. A chance to dig themselves out of the mess the war left them in.
Well, sure, Ken,
That's why the collection is our responsibility. We've got to see that those kids get that chance. That they grow up as the next generation's decent citizens and not as stormtroopers. Thurston here. There is Thurston. Yeah. I see. Thanks. Spartivento docked out of this morning, Chief. The Maggiore collection went through customs about an hour ago.
And what do you want us to do, Ken?
Chief, the truck taking the collection to the Norris Art Gallery was hijacked. The guard and driver killed. And the paintings are gone.
Where are we going anyways, Mr. Thurston?
Well, I'm not sure you want to go, Pagon, but the chief thought you might do a little job for the Bureau.
Mr. X, that's out. Definitely, positively out. I don't want no jobs with the Bureau.
That's what I thought. Well, can I drop you anywhere before I get to the Norris Art Gallery?
The Norris Art Gallery? Well, that's where the Maggiore collection is.
That's where it was going to be before it was stolen.
Stolen? But that thing's worth $10 million.
Yeah. I'll drop you at this corner, Pagan.
10 million simoleons. Should be a pretty good reward for getting that stuff back, eh?
Oh, the insurance company will pay off pretty well, sure. But as long as you're not interested.
Why should we be so hasty, Mr. X? Naturally, I don't want a job, but I'll be glad to help you out, yeah. Just for old lang time, you understand. And $20 a day in expenses, of course.
Straight now, Pagan?
Oh, sure. It's a cinch. While you talk to the manager, I make like a big shot art expert.
Good. There's the gallery. Let's go in.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by America's largest selling cigarette, Lucky Strike.
American.
Lucky Strike. First again with tobacco men. First again with the men who really know tobacco. The independent auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen. And more of these independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined. Remember, these are the men who can see, the makers of Lucky Strike, consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. And for their own personal smoking enjoyment, these tobacco experts choose Lucky Strike.
To you as a smoker, that fact is extremely important. Because you and the experts look to a cigarette for the very same reason. Enjoyment. Real deep down smoking enjoyment.
So let this personal smoking preference of the experts lead you to Lucky Strike. Light up a Lucky, and puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and this fine Lucky Strike tobacco means a world of smoking enjoyment for you. Yes, you'll like Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, as most of you know, Jack Benny spent his summer making personal appearances in Europe. On July 19th, he opened at the Palladium Theatre in London. So now we take you back to Jack's opening night. He's just finished his first London stage appearance, and the audience is leaving the theater.
I say, Penelope, what did you think of this Benny chap? Droll, eh, what?
Rather. And did you notice, Derek, he performs with such great abandon, such complete lack of inhibition, such verve, such enthusiasm, such guts.
Oh, yes, indeed. And how did you like his orchestra conductor, that Phil Harris fellow?
Oh, he's a jolly one. What stage presence. Don't you think he carries himself well?
I wouldn't know. Every time I've seen him, someone else was carrying him. Oh, look, there's Cyril. I say, Cyril, what do you think of Jack Benny?
If this is Lend-Lease, let's pay them off.
I say. Oh, that was good.
After finishing his engagement at the Palladium in London, Jack Benny and his troupe left England and went to France, where they appeared at the Olympia Theatre in Paris.
Allons, tell me, Pierre, what do you think of Monsieur Benny?
I could tell you in one word, but I would rather use more. Perhaps I am prejudiced. You see, for the past 9 years, I have been Monsieur Benny's violin teacher in America.
Then what are you doing here in France?
I have come home to die.
Vive la France!
Vive la forest lawn!
After a successful series of engagements in Europe, Jack and his gang sailed for home. So let's pick them up now aboard the Queen Mary. It's their last day out.
Let's walk around the deck again, dear. Such a beautiful day.
Very well, darling. Oh, the water's so calm and the air so... Uh-oh, here he comes again. Let's get down to our stateroom.
Sailing, sailing, a-diddly-dum-da-dum, a-diddle. I can't understand it. It's a big ship and nobody's ever on deck. Oh, well. Gosh, what a day. What a trip. What a boat. Sailing, sailing over the bounding main. $300 to make this trip. I'll never go again. Sailing, holy smoke. We're not supposed to get in until tomorrow. And there's the Statue of Liberty.
Jack, put on your glasses. It's me. I'm waving at you.
Oh, hello, Mary. Mary, I haven't seen you all day. Where have you been, with Phil?
No, I haven't seen Phil since lunch. I've been just walking around the deck. And, Jack, you'll never guess who I ran into.
Oh.
Edgar Bergen. He's on his way back from Sweden.
Gee, I didn't know Bergen was on this boat. How is Edgar?
He's fine, but Charlie was leaning over the rail.
Gee, that Bergen is a clever ventriloquist. Mary, here are a couple of deck chairs. Let's unfold them and sit down.
Okay.
Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, Jack, I hope you won't mind, but I can't have dinner with you. You see, it's the last night out, and I've been asked to sit at the captain's table again.
Yes, funny. I can't understand why he didn't ask me.
Well, I don't blame him after what you did last night.
Huh?
Imagine washing your teeth in the finger bowl.
That was my elk's tooth. I dropped some gravy on it. Anyway, I'm sure glad we dock tomorrow.
Oh, I'm kind of anxious, too. Gee, I can hardly wait to see my sister Babe.
Oh, is Babe coming up from Plainfield to meet the boat?
She has to. She's head oiler on one of the tugs.
Honey, I knew she could do it. Well, Mary, we've had a wonderful trip. It'll be good to get back home and see the old gang again, won't it?
Yeah, and I'm kind of anxious to get back in the air. Have you any idea what we'll do on the first show?
No, but I imagine it'll be the usual thing. You know, the whole cast will greet each other, and I'll ask them what they did on their vacations, and they'll have to tell me how good I look, you know. What else can you do on a first show?
Say, Jack, I've got an idea. Why don't we do a boat scene where you and I are coming home on the Queen Mary?
No, that wouldn't be good for an opening broadcast.
Well, you know best.
Yeah.
Gee, it'll be good to hear Dennis sing again. By the way, Jack, I wish you'd do me a favor.
Well, Mary.
Well, on the first show, I wish you'd have Dennis sing that new number called Tree in the Meadow.
Tree in the Meadow? How does it go?
Well, you know, something like this. La-da-dee-da-da-dee-dum, la-dee-da-da-dum.
Yeah, I think I heard that one.
There's a tree in the meadow with a stream drifting by, and carved upon that tree I love you till I die. I shall always remember the love in your eyes, the day you carved upon that tree. I love you till I die. But further on down Lover's Lane, a silhouette I see. I know you're kissing someone else. I wish that it were me. By that tree in the meadow, my thoughts always lie. And wherever you go, you'll always know I love you till I die. But further on down Lover's Lane, a silhouette I see. I know you're kissing someone else. I wish that it were me. By that tree in the meadow, my heart always lie. And wherever you go, you'll always know I love you till
If you like that song so well, I'll ask Dennis to sing it. Well, how about taking another walk around the deck?
Okay.
You know, maybe we'll run into Phil. He ought to be up by now.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Betty. Hey, Mary, this is the little girl I told you about yesterday. Betty, this is Miss Livingston.
Hello, Miss Livingston.
Hello, Betty.
Well, Betty, are you glad we're getting in tomorrow?
I sure am. I can hardly wait till I get home and see my grandma and my grandpa and my little dog, Topsy.
Oh, I'll bet they missed you, too. Well, see you later, Betty.
All right.
Oh, say, Betty, you want me to play with you again this afternoon?
Yeah, but no more except poker.
All right, Betty, whatever you like. Come on, Mary.
Jack, you didn't.
It was all right, Mary. She gave me my money back. Say, Mary, after you have dinner...
Oh, Jack, there's Phil over there in that deck chair.
Oh, so he finally got out of bed. Let's go over... Oh, for heaven's sake. He's still studying that book on how to speak French since we've been to Paris. Let's sneak over and see how he's doing.
Merci beaucoup, c'est très joli. Now, let's see. Uit ball ang la koang posh. That means 8 ball in the corner pocket. Wonder how you say kiss off the 12. Hey, here's something that'll come in handy when I get mad at Alice. Votre mère porte guerre souliers. Your mother wears army shoes. Now, let's see. How do you ask?
Hello, Phil.
Ah, bonsoir, ma chérie.
Phil, mon chéri means my darling.
Livy, when you've been with Jackson as long as I have, you learn to love that old man. All right. Hey, Livy, you want to hear something else I learned in French?
What is it, Phil?
Hey, listen to this. Ici venir vibab avec anti-etment la nouvelle en votre relais habillé bousson sous les haies.
Well, what does that mean?
Here comes old Bob with all the news with a box-back coat and the button shoes.
Phil, before you study French, you ought to learn a few more words in English.
Listen, Dad.
Yeah?
Calm down a little bit. You're just jealous because I was such a big hit in London.
You?
Certainly. When we were at the Palladium, who did the audience want to hear sing? Me. Who did the audience applaud the longest? Me. Who did the crowds ask for autographs? Me.
And who signed them for you? Me.
Now listen, smart guy, since you brought that up, when I wasn't on the stage, who did the audience keep yelling for?
Danny Kaye.
Yes, and he's my friend.
Oh, that's trapping him, Jack.
I know what I'm doing every minute.
But you know, I have to go along with Phil. You were jealous because he was a big hit in England.
I was not.
Then why'd you go around telling everybody he was a Russian spy?
Oh, I just did that for a joke.
Well, I gotta leave you kids. I'm going in to have 6 o'clock tea.
Phil, that's 4 o'clock tea.
I know, but it takes me 2 hours to gag that stuff down.
You know, Mary, I wish Phil wouldn't keep talking about what a hit he was at the Palladium in London. Why can't he be modest about it like me?
You? Modest?
Yes, me.
I've got 10 answers to that one, any one of which will send me back to the May Company.
You miss a few more lines and you'll go back to the May. Now, come on, Mary. Now, let's take one more walk around the deck, will you?
I'm kind of tired, Jack. I think I'll go down to my stateroom and take a little nap before dinner.
Okay, Mary. I'm going to sit out here for about an hour. I'll see you later. We'll be in New York tomorrow. And I think of all the places I've been the last 3 months. England, France, Scotland, Holland, Germany. Oh, boy, when we did our show for the GIs, they sure went for Mary and Alice Faye and Marilyn Maxwell. I wonder why they liked them better than me and Phil. They sure did, though. Then from Germany, we went to Switzerland. Ah, Switzerland. What a beautiful country. San Moritz, Lucerne, Zurich, Interlaken, Lake Geneva. What scenery. I'll never forget it. And those wonderful snow-covered Alps. I can still hear those Swiss mountain climbers singing their native song as the sun came to rest behind the lofty peak.
Ole, 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 MFMFP. Ole, 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 MFMFP, MFP.
Oodle-leedle-oodle-lay. Leedle-oodle-lay.
They're first again with tobacco men.
Oodle-leedle-oodle-lay. Leedle-oodle-lay.
We know you like Lucky Strike.
So round, so firm, so fully packed.
So round, so firm, so fully packed.
So free and easy on the draw.
So free and easy on the draw.
Quality of product is essential to continuing success. Quality of product is essential to continuing success. Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
Lucky Strike.
After a very pleasant 5 days on the Queen Mary, they arrived in New York, where they immediately boarded the Super Chief for Los Angeles and home.
Los Angeles Union Station. Los Angeles. Watch your step as you leave the train.
Well, come on, Jack. Here we are.
Train arriving on track 5 from Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Mary, we'll get a cab, and I'll drop you off
Hey,
first,
Jack,
and then...
Oh, Jack!
Jack, it's Don Wilson.
Hiya, Don.
Hello, Don.
Hello, Mary. Hiya, Jack. Gee, it's sure good to see you again.
Well, it's nice to see you, too. Say, Don, you've lost a little weight, haven't you?
Yes, I have, Jack, but I didn't think you'd notice it.
Well, how much did you lose, Don?
80 pounds.
80 pounds? Don, how'd you manage to lose that much?
Willpower, Jack. I cut out breakfast.
When?
This morning.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh, by the way, where's Phil?
Oh, he bought a car in England, and he's driving it back from New York.
Attention, please, attention. Due to the changes in time throughout the country, trains scheduled to leave Los Angeles at 4 will depart at 5. Trains scheduled to arrive from the east at 5 will arrive at 4. Trains from the south, which should have been here at 6, will get here at 3. However, trains coming from the north due at 7 will be in at 9. Trains scheduled to arrive at 4 will arrive at 5. Or is it 6? I knew that would happen. And I warned them, too. Or was it 4?
Don, Mary wants to get home, so I'll drop her off and see you later.
Well, now, wait a minute, Jack. You haven't told me anything about your trip. Now, I know you were in England and France and Germany, but where else did you go?
Well, I went to Holland and Switzerland, and, oh, Don, I've got to tell you about Switzerland. Those mountain climbers and those lofty alpine peaks where they...
Attention, please, attention. The chief now leaving on track 3 for Kansas City and Chicago.
Kansas City and Chicago.
Mary, did you hear that?
Yes, there's a train leaving for the east.
I don't mean that. I thought I heard an echo that... No, never mind. Don, I'll tell you about Switzerland later. Come on, Mary.
Okay, Jack, so long.
So long, Don.
Attention, please. Don Wilson now leaving on track 5 for Glendale, Burbank, and the Brown Derby.
Come on, Mary. We'll get a taxi and I'll drop you off. Huh?
Jack, you sure they'll deliver my luggage to the house?
Don't worry about it. I told you I checked it through. Now, hey, Mary, look, there's Dennis. I knew he'd come down to meet us. I bet he really missed me. Dennis!
Oh, hello, Mr. Benny. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Gosh,
gosh, it's nice to see you, kid, but you didn't have to come all the way down to the station.
Yes, I did. I had to see my mother off.
Oh.
Who are you seeing off, Mr. Benny?
I'm not seeing anybody off. I just came in on the Super Chief.
Gee, a lot of important people have come to Los Angeles lately. First President Truman, then Governor Dewey, and now you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't vote for you for $1 million.
Dennis, don't be silly.
Yes, Dennis, we haven't seen you for 3 months. Now come on over here and let me give you a great big kiss.
You better not. I've got to drive home.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Attention, please. All passengers leaving for San Francisco, please have your ticket validated.
Ticket validated.
Harry, there it goes again. That echo.
What echo? I didn't hear anything. What's the matter with you?
There was an echo. Listen, I'll prove it to you. Hello? There it is. Didn't you hear it?
Oh, Jack, stop shaking me. I didn't hear anything.
I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with me. If this keeps up, I'll go to the nut house.
You better have your ticket validated.
Oh, be quiet. Come on, Mary. Let's get out of here. So long, Dennis.
I'll wait till Mr. Benny gets out of the station. Then I'll see for myself. Hello? Hello? My mother's right. He's nuts.
Well, home at last. Gosh, this old street looks good. It really does.
Whoa!
Hello,
Welcome home, Mr. Benny. Welcome home.
Rochester, put me down. You don't have to carry me over the threshold. I can walk in.
Boss, it's sure good to have you home. And I'm mighty proud of you, too.
You are?
Yes, sir. I read about what a big sensation you were at the Palladium Theater in London, how they laughed and applauded and wouldn't let you off the stage, and when you played your violin, how they begged for encore after encore.
You read that, Rochester? Where?
In that letter you sent me.
Rochester, I wrote that in the letter?
In the letter, on the letter, under the stamp, on the flap, and there were 2 paragraphs on the postman's hand.
2?
Or was it 4?
Oh, well, I guess I got a little over-enthusiastic. By the way, Rochester, I wrote and told all my friends that I was coming home. Have there been any calls?
Well, there was only one phone call from Miss Barbara Stanley.
Barbara Stanley, huh? What'd you say?
Sorry, wrong number.
Well, it could happen, man. Gosh, Rochester, I've been away from home so long, I don't even know what's going on. Listen, run down to the corner and get me a newspaper, will you?
Oh, that'll spoil everything, boss. I was planning on giving you one for Christmas.
What?
They're 7 cents now.
Oh, well, I wish you wouldn't, Rochester, and I'll have to give you something, you know? Anyway, I do want to hear some news. Turn on the radio, will you?
Okay.
And that's the latest report from overseas. Now, here's good tidings for the housewife. The Department of Agriculture announced today there'll be a 2-cent drop in the wholesale price of Oleo margarine.
Oleo margarine.
Here it is again. I heard it. Rochester, did you hear that?
Yeah, there'll be a 2-cent drop in the price of margarine.
No, I didn't mean that, Rochester. I thought I heard an echo that... Oh, never mind. It must be me. Well, it's a long... I'm going upstairs and lie down for a little while.
Okay.
Oh, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
Rochester, if 5 or 6 trucks pull up to the house in the next few days, tell them to unload the crates on the lawn. I want to set it up in front of the door.
A bunch of crates? What is it, boss?
Well, when I was in Paris, I took a sip of champagne, and somebody sold me the Arc de Triomphe. It's a sort of a souvenir, you know.
Okay, boss. I'll put it right alongside the Taj Mahal.
Good. I'll see you later, Rochester. Friends, every worthwhile undertaking usually has a slogan, sort of an identifying phrase to express its purpose. The community chest has one, a fine one, which says everybody benefits, everybody gives. It's sort of like the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That's really the purpose of the community chest anyway, so let's all help make the slogan of the community chest a practical aid to the health and welfare of millions of Americans. Everybody benefits, everybody gives. Thank you.
Jack, we'll be back in just a moment, but first...
An impartial survey covering all the southern tobacco markets shows that more independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
Yes, Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man.
Excuse me, but who are these tobacco experts?
Why, they're the independent auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen. Men with years of experience in buying, selling, and handling tobacco. So it's important for you to know that more of these experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
You've heard the survey results. Now here's what Mr. John L. Pinnick, veteran tobacco warehouseman who sold some 80 million pounds of tobacco recently said.
At all the auctions I've attended, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy tobacco that makes a mild, mellow smoke. Tobacco that just can't be beat when it comes to smoking enjoyment. I've smoked Lucky's 28 years.
A Lucky Strike smoker for 28 years. And remember, Mr. Penix, like you, looks to a cigarette for enjoyment. Real, deep-down smoking enjoyment. So follow the lead of the experts and light up a Lucky yourself. Puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And it's this fine tobacco that gives you the utmost in smoking enjoyment from every Lucky you light. Yes?
You'll like Lucky Strike.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're all really very happy to be back on the air again. A hearty welcome to Ozzie and Harriet. Stay tuned in and hear Phil Harris Alice Faye show, then Edgar Bergen, and then you should excuse the expression Fred Allen. And be sure to listen to A Day in the Life of Dennis Day on Saturday night. Next week, our guest will be Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. Good night, everybody.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by America's largest selling cigarette, Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike. First again with Tobacco Man. More independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
A recent impartial survey reveals this overwhelming smoking preference of the men who really know tobacco, the independent auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen.
These are the independent tobacco experts, the top men in their field, who year after year can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. And remember, for their own personal smoking enjoyment, these experts choose Lucky Strike.
So let this personal smoking preference of the experts lead you to Lucky Strike. Light up a Lucky, and puff by puff, you'll see.
LSMFT. LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and this fine Lucky Strike tobacco means a world of smoking enjoyment for you. Yes,
you'll like Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the sportsman, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go out to Jack Benny's house in Beverly Hills. At the moment, Rochester is alone, straightening up Jack's room.
Well, I've put away almost everything the boss brought home from Europe. What's this? Oh, these are some of the souvenirs Mr. Benny brought back. A beret from France, wooden shoes from Holland, and a barnacle off the Queen Mary. He must have got that when he was diving for coins. Hey, what's this little book? Let's see. Oh, it's Mr. Benny's diary of his trip. I think I'll take a little peek. No. Emily Poe says it isn't right to read other people's personal notes. But Emily ain't here, so peekaboo. Here's the first entry in the diary. It says,
July 10th, dear diary. We arrived in London today. It thrills me to be in this historical old city with all its picturesque scenery. I was lucky to get a room overlooking the beautiful Hotel Savoy. Which is much better than paying Savoy prices and overlooking the dump I'm living in.
That's my boy.
July 20th, dear diary. Last night we opened at London's famous Palladium Theater. What an event. It was the most exciting thing that has happened to me in all my 39 years. The theater was jammed with important people. Everybody was there except the king and queen. Poor things, they couldn't get tickets.
Oh, diary, come now.
August 10th, dear diary. Yesterday we arrived in Paris.
Well, now we're getting someplace.
Paris is a very gay city. Last night the whole gang went to the Kit Kat Club, the Casino de Paris, and the Folies Bergère. But I didn't join them. I visited the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, and the Louvre Museum.
39, he says.
August 17th, dear diary. Yesterday was my last night in Paris, and what a time I had. I met a cute little French dancer, and we went to all the gay spots. We finally wound up in a tiny candlelit cafe, and I toasted her by drinking champagne out of her slipper. It was very romantic till I choked on Dr. Scholl's foot Ah, what sweet memories I have of little Suzette. Every time I think of her, a lump comes to my throat.
Suzette. Well, this is pretty interesting. But I better get downstairs and dust the library. The boss and his gang are going to listen to the World Series. Hope I get a chance to hear it. Should be exciting. Boston Braves versus Satchel Paige. Yeah, I better hurry.
Now, come on, Polly. Try it again. Say, bonsoir, monsieur. Polly.
What's the matter, boss?
Oh, I've been trying to teach Polly French, but it's no use. Rochester, arrange the chairs around the radio. You know my gang will be here.
Mademoiselle from Armitage, Hollywood.
I guess Polly's older than I thought. Been around, too. Now, arrange the chairs, Rochester.
I will. Say, boss, I finished putting away all your souvenirs from your trip. You really had a great time in Europe, didn't you?
Yes, it was wonderful, except for that one thing that marred the end of the trip. Something followed me back from Europe.
What was it, boss? What was it?
An echo.
Oh, for a minute I thought it was Suzette.
No, Rochester, it was a crazy echo. See, it started in Switzerland when I heard the Swiss yodelers, and it followed me ever... Hey, wait a minute. How did you know about Suzette? You read my diary, didn't you?
Well, boss, I just...
Now, wait a minute, Rochester. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. A diary is a personal thing. You shouldn't have read it. Where did you find it?
In your folio.
In my folio?
Folio lady.
There it is, Rochester. Did you hear? Did you hear that echo?
I didn't hear anything.
But you must have. Listen. Hello.
Hello.
You heard it that time, didn't you?
No, sir. I didn't hear a thing.
But you must have. It was a definite echo. Try it now. You try it and you'll see. Now you yell hello.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Polly, you keep out of this or I'll give you a good spanking.
You better not, boss. The last time you spanked us, you laid a cracked egg.
Oh, yeah. We had to eat it right away. Now, Rochester, the gang will be over pretty soon, so place the chairs around the radio.
Yes, sir.
There's the phone. I'll get it. Hello? Yes, it's Jack Benny. No. My program goes on at 5 o'clock, California Daylight Time. No. That's 7 o'clock in the East. Well, certainly, I'm sure. I did my program at 5 o'clock last week. Yes, I'm positive. You're welcome.
Who was that, boss?
NBC, they're mixed up, too. These different times are so confusing. That must be some of the gang coming over to hear the World Series. I'll get the door. Everyone knows I'm a rambling rose. I'm a beauty growing wild. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Rosie.
Oh, you heard me singing. Come on in. You know, Dennis, you're the first one to arrive.
I wanted to get here before the prices changed.
Dennis, I only do that for the Rose Bowl game. Now, come on in the den and we'll... Hey, wait a minute. Dennis, this is the first time I've ever seen you wearing glasses. Are your eyes bad?
No.
So why are you wearing those glasses?
My uncle died and left them to me.
Your uncle? Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I can't see a darn thing with them.
Well, for heaven's sake, kid, if you can't see with them, take them off. Just because somebody leaves you something in a will, you're not compelled to use it.
I'm not?
No.
You want to buy a set of teeth?
Now cut that out! And stop making things up. Look, I just happen to remember this morning I saw your uncle walking down the street.
That was my aunt. He left her his clothes.
Well, that's the silliest thing I ever heard. Now, look, kid, you don't need those glasses, so take them off.
Okay.
But I'm glad you came over early because I want you to run through the song you're going to do on the program. What are you going to sing?
Hair of gold, eyes of blue.
That's a cute number. Go ahead.
I came down from Butte, Montana, for a little change of scene, and I stopped today in Santa Fe, where I met a pretty queen. Oh, hair of gold, eyes of blue, lips like cherry wine, the prettiest gal I ever knew, and I'm gonna make her mine.
Oh, I planned to leave on Monday, but she held me kind of tight. So I held the ground and hung around, and I left on Friday night. Oh, hair of gold, eyes of blue, lips like cherry wine. Prettiest gal I ever knew, and I'm gonna make her mine.
I was kind of blue and lonely, so I took my horse and pack, and on Sunday morn was up and gone, heading south and riding back. Oh, hair of gold, eyes of blue, lips like cherry wine, the prettiest gal I ever knew, and I'm gonna make her mine. Oh, hair of gold, eyes of blue,
lips like cherry wine,
the prettiest gal I ever knew, and I'm gonna make her mine.
That's a nice song. You know, you always seem to pick good ones for the program.
Thanks. Oh, say, Mr. Benny, I meant to ask you something. You still hear that echo that bothered you last week?
Yes, Dennis, once in a while. It's got me worried, too. I can't figure out what it is.
Well, it could be a figment of your imagination.
Huh?
Or it might be a hallucination brought on by overexertion of the subconscious mind, which can be attributed to a neurotic psychosis.
Dennis, what does that mean?
I don't know. It was on the card I got when I weighed myself this morning.
Well, look, the gang ought to be here pretty soon. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss.
Get some refreshments ready.
Yes, sir. Are we going to push the hot dogs or the peanuts today?
We're not going to push anything. They'll look, they'll see. If they like, they'll buy. Just get them ready.
Okay. Will you let me know when Satchel Paige is pitching?
Yes, I'll let you know. Well, I guess they're here. Go in the den and sit down, kid.
Hair of gold, eyes of blue, lips like cherry wine. I've got the eyes, I've got the lips, I wish the hair was mine. Oh, hello, Mary. Hiya, Don.
Hello, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Don, where's your car?
Well, I left it at Mary's house and we walked over.
Well, I don't blame you. It's such a sunny day.
Not when you're walking with Don.
I see what you mean. Come on in. The game hasn't started yet.
Oh, by the way, Jack, I want to thank you for that nice present you brought me from England.
Oh, what'd he bring you, Don?
A genuine cowhide belt, but I feel a little guilty when I wear it.
Guilty, Don? Why?
Well, I hate to think that 2 cows had to die so I could hold up my pants.
All right, Don. All right. Don, you don't have to shake like that. We haven't been sponsored by them for 7 years. Now, come on. Let's go in the den and sit down.
Okay. Well, look who's here. Hello, Dennis.
Who's that?
Dennis, take off those glasses.
Okay. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Dennis.
Dennis, I didn't know you wore glasses. Are your eyes bad?
Don't answer him, kid. I wouldn't go through that again for $1 million. Now, look, let's get ready to hear the game, huh?
Say, Jack, on the way over here, I was telling Don all about our trip to Europe, and he got such a big kick out of it.
I sure did, Jack. How was London? Did you have a good time there, too?
Did I, Don? I went everywhere. Waterloo Bridge, Piccadilly Circus, Westminster Abbey, all the places you read about.
Did you go to Buckingham Palace to see the changing of the guard?
Well, not exactly.
Jack went to the Bank of England to see the guarding of the chains.
Say, Mary, that was a pretty good gag. You know, you ought to save that.
For the program?
No, just save it. Now, look, as soon as Phil gets here...
Oh, boss!
Yes?
Is Crackle Page pitching yet?
The game doesn't start for 10 minutes.
Oh!
Gee, come to think of it, you know, I don't even know who is going to pitch.
I bet it won't be my uncle.
Dennis, now be quiet.
Say, kids, I'll bet Bob Hope's the most excited person in Hollywood on account of the World Series.
Why?
Well, Bob owns the Cleveland Indians.
So what? Jack owns Cleveland.
Owns Cleveland. A few square miles. He makes a big thing out of it. Well, it's almost time for the game.
Jack, wasn't that an exciting finish in the American League this year?
It certainly was. And yet, you know, when I had lunch with Leo DeRocha in New York this summer, he told me he thought the National League was going to be in a tight race, too.
But, Jack, anyone could see that the Boston Braves were running away with a pennant.
That's exactly what I told Leo. There it goes again, that echo. Now, don't tell me you didn't hear it. You heard it, didn't you, Don?
I didn't hear a thing, Jack.
Neither did I.
Did you hear it, Dennis?
No, but don't go by me. I'm wearing glasses.
Well, I told you to take them off. This echo is driving me crazy. If it doesn't stop, I'll do something desperate.
Oh, don't get so excited, Jack. Supposing you do hear an echo. What's so terrible about that?
Plenty. Someday I may sit down and hear Fred Allen's program twice. Just think of that. Rochester, there's the buzzer.
Is Crackle Page sleeping yet?
No.
Then I'll answer the door.
Jack, who do you really think will win the series?
Well, Don, it's my belief that Cleveland has a decided edge in pitchers, but Boston seems stronger in fielding. Now, while they're evenly matched in batting powers, Cleveland seems to rate the psychological advantage. Therefore, I pick Cleveland. And, Don, I base this conclusion on my complete knowledge of sports.
Some knowledge of sports.
What?
You think Gorgeous George plays a violin with Phil Spatolny?
I do not. I found out last week...
Hiya, Jackson, Dante. Hello, Libby, you one touch of Venus, you.
Hello.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Alice.
Dennis, give me those glasses! What a kid.
What about the game, Jackson? Started yet?
No, and there's no sense listening. It's all settled. Grantland and Benny picked Cleveland to win.
Yes, and they will win, too.
What are you talking about? Cleveland ain't got a chance.
Oh, they haven't, eh? Would you like to bet $100?
Yeah.
Well, call up Bob Hope. He's taking all he can get. Come on, put up or shut up. Wise guy.
Never mind about Hope. I'll bet you $1. I just want to win one of your dollars.
One of my dollars? Why?
I want to see what Washington looked like when he was a boy.
Phil, you don't even know who George Washington was.
I do, too. George Washington was the father of our country.
Well.
He was first in war, first in peace, and first again with tobacco men.
Phil, who told you that?
I cannot tell a lie. I did it with my little fat commercial.
Oh. Well, very good, Don, but I didn't know they had cigarettes in those days.
Well, sure, Jack. When Washington threw that $1 across the Potomac, they threw back a packet of Luckies and 83 cents change.
No. Huh?
Yeah, but they didn't have any matches then, so they threw him a Boy Scout and 2 sticks.
Gee, Mary, I always thought...
Come on, Jack. Look what time it is. Are we going to listen to the game or not?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute, Jackson. Before you turn on the radio, I want to tell you the most amazing thing you ever heard.
What is it, Phil?
Last week I saw a ball game. There were 16 home runs and not a single man scored.
Wait a minute, Phil. 16 home runs, not a single man scored. How was that?
They were all married. Oh, Harris, you've got so much more than Spike Jones. Why should you fight us?
Phil, tell me something.
What?
Which one of your heads has the Tony? Now, let's get settled down and
Hey, boss, is Sackle Payne pitching yet?
Rochester, the game hasn't started.
Well, we ought to broadcast his warm-up.
I'll let you know when it's time.
Madam McDowell from Armitage, Polly,
Darn that bird. I told you to keep quiet.
Who are you?
Polly, take off my glasses.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Hey, Jackson, come on, turn on the radio.
Yeah, let's hear the game.
Okay.
Folks, do you have a friend or relative who drinks too much? Well, just remember that alcoholism is a disease that can be cured by...
That's not the station.
Don't turn it off, Jackson. I want to tell Frankie about this.
Never mind, Frank.
Oh, come on, Jack. Find the station or we'll miss the game.
All right.
And here we are in the bottom half of the third inning in what promises to be an exciting ball game.
Gee, it started already.
Yeah.
What a crowd. The stadium is jammed with important people from all over the world. Everybody's here except the King and Queen of England. Poor things, they couldn't get tickets.
Gee, they miss everything, don't they?
There's one out. Bases are loaded. Heltner's on first. Mitchell on second. And Kennedy and Greenberg are on third.
He won't get off for anybody.
As you know, Bearden is pitching for the Indians and Pickford for the Braves. Pickford's taking his time and he's plenty worried.
I don't blame him.
What?
What?
Hey?
No.
Oh!
I wish he'd listen on his own radio.
Pickford, the pitcher, is winding up. Remember, folks, one out, Boudreaux at bat, and the bases are lonely but loaded.
Gosh, the pitcher's really in a hole.
Ole.
Oh, smoke, there it goes again, that echo. You heard it this time, didn't you, Mary?
I didn't hear a thing.
Neither did I.
Neither did I.
I didn't hear it either.
What?
Boudreaux is still at bat, and here comes the pitch. It may be a hit. McCormick fields the ball and throws it to home where it's a close decision. He's out. No, he's safe. No, he's out. No, safe. He's out. He's safe. And here's the official decision. He's half safe.
Half safe?
Now Robinson is coming up to bat. Here's an interesting sidelight on Robinson. At the opening of the game, he was 5 feet 2 inches tall. Now in the fourth inning, he's 6 feet 3 inches tall.
What?
Everybody here is wondering how Robinson grew so.
Oh,
Oh, Nelson, you may not be from Boston, but you certainly use your bean.
Jack, are you sure you got the right station?
certainly.
Robinson is waiting for the pitch, and here it comes. It's a hit. It's a long, long fly. The ball is going out toward right field. It's still going. It's going. And now, ladies and gentlemen, while the ball is in the air, the Cleveland Indians will serenade the Braves.
Indian seed Boudreaux, send us here with a cheer. He saved Boston brave, soon be losing his gal. Feller, Beard, and Sue, Robinson, Satchel Paige, they are in a race. Boston's gonna need help. What Boston showed today, they can play ball. Just like Lucky Strike, they're the best and everyone likes them. They're so round and firm, fully packed, that's a fact. Indian chiefs who know agree. LSMFT. Quality of product is essential to continuing success. Out!
That was the Cleveland Indians serenading the Boston Braves. Now, back to the game.
The ball is still in the air. What a long play! It's still going. There it goes over the right field fence and out of the Cleveland Stadium. It's still going.
Gee, kid, that's about the longest.
Jack, your window.
Say, that was a hit.
Robinson is being congratulated by his teammates as he crosses home plate. As you know, Robinson is an outstanding player and came up from the minor leagues where he used to play shortstop for Do-Wah-Diddy.
Do-Wah-Diddy?
Why, that ain't no town and it ain't no city.
No, but it's awful small and awful pretty. Do-Wah-Diddy.
What's going on here, anyway?
Hey, boss! Isn't Satchel Paige pitching a terrific game?
Satchel Paige, he isn't pitching.
He is on my radio.
You know, kid, I can't figure out.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may have tuned in late, this ball game in Cleveland is in the third inning. In New York, it's the fifth inning. And in Nevada and California, it's the second inning.
What?
Except in Washington and Oregon, where the broadcast was called off on account of rain.
What is this, anyway?
While we're waiting for the next batter, I'd like to mention a few celebrities who are here today. Right below me are Mr. and Mrs. Gary Cooper. To the left of them are Mr. and Mrs. William Powell. And below them are Mr. and Mrs. and Mrs. and Mrs. and Mrs. and Mrs. Artie Shaw.
No wonder the king and queen couldn't get in.
And now it's the last half of the ninth inning. 2 out and Dobie is up to bat.
The last half of the ninth already? He's crazy.
Here comes the pitch. It's a hard hit ball going out between second and third base. It's a hot grounder, and Dennis Day's uncle is under it.
Dennis Day's uncle?
Dobie is out, and the game is over. But we'll not know who won until the final returns come in from New York, California, Washington, and Oregon.
Oh, my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, the foregoing was a paid political broadcast and does not necessarily express an opinion.
Mary, turn off that radio.
Okay.
Now, kids...
And now, folks, I'd like to tell you how thrilled I've been to...
Wait a minute! Who turned on that radio again?
I did.
Oh, no! Come on, kids, let's go in the kitchen and buy some sandwiches.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the last war, the chief hope of our enemies was to divide the United States along racial and religious lines and thereby conquer it. Let's not spread prejudice. A divided America is a weak America, and we need the same harmony among our various racial and religious groups that was the source of our strength in war. Through our behavior, we encourage the respect of our children and make them better neighbors to all races and religions. Remind them that being good neighbors has helped make our country great and kept her free. Thank you. Jack will be back in just a moment, but first...
American. A recent impartial survey covering all the southern tobacco market shows Lucky Strike.
First again with Tobacco Man.
Yes, more independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next 2 leading brands combined.
Excuse me, but who are these tobacco experts?
They're the independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen, men with years of experience buying, selling, and handling tobacco. And it's important for you to know that more of these independent tobacco experts smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next 2 leading brands combined.
That's what the survey shows.
Now, listen to what Mr. Edwin Lee Moore, veteran independent tobacco buyer from Greenville, North Carolina, recently said.
At auction after auction, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine, light, mellow leaf. Quality tobacco that just can't be beat for smoking enjoyment. I've smoked Lucky's for 22 years.
A Lucky Strike smoker for 22 years. And remember, Mr. Moore, like you, looks to the cigarette he smokes for enjoyment. Real deep-down smoking enjoyment. So light up a Lucky yourself, and puff by puff, you'll see. LSMFT! LSMFT! Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and fine tobacco gives you real, deep-down smoking enjoyment from every Lucky you light. Yes, puff by puff, pack by pack. You'll like Lucky Strike.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to unforeseen commitments, Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman couldn't be with us tonight, but they'll visit us in a couple of weeks. Be sure and stay tuned in for the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, which follows immediately. And on Saturday night, listen to A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. There it goes again. Oh, well, good night.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.